Hi and hello, everybody, and we are live on a Sunday where daylight savings time has occurred in the United States, but as usual, those in the UK are lagging behind, just as part of their nature. And I will direct you to the host of the show, and that is James, who is alleging to be a founder of a Real Cinema Institute for some reason.
It's not a cinema institute. It's real
Well, it
cinema.
says cinema.
Spelt like that is a. They're actually having a sort of Kubrick themed time of it this year. It's based on Morecambe Bay, and I'll bring up an article about it. They've actually got Kubrick's nephew going.
Uh-huh.
This is the cinema that I, for a long time, sort of made fun of a bit in Morecambe. But really, I don't think I should have done that. So it's that cinema. It's the Institute for that cinema.
I don't know what you mean.
Well,
You're speaking in code. I mean, is Real Cinema a franchise of cinemas or something?
yes, it is actually. It's a very modest sort of chain of cinemas.
All right.
Sort of like they're not really. They probably have 2 or 3 screens max. The one at Morecambe, I presume, probably has 4 screens. Tonight, the one in Morecambe is showing Shazam: Fury of the Gods, Scream 6, Creed 3, and 65. So a lot of numbers there. It's on Central Drive, Morecambe. So it's literally.
What's that got to do with you? You don't live in Morecambe.
I don't actually live there, no, but I've become a member of their institute. So
to what end?
Well, just mainly just to support them. I do,
No, you've called yourself the founder.
Well, I am in my own sense, to myself. I am, at least. I don't know. I don't think necessarily all the people of Morecambe would see me in that way, but I don't know why. You don't have to try and spoil it for me. My enjoyment of the role I've got
seems a bit off. Seems a bit odd, and off-putting. And the good people of Morecambe are probably not happy. I mean, I feel like this is somehow related to your obsession with Cockhouse.
Well, if you actually look up Real Cinema Morecambe and go to the news section on Google, I put Real Cinema and Morecambe, Kubrick. It came up with zombie film with scenes inside Lancaster Castle to get its UK TV or UK premiere. I presume at the Real Cinema. Yeah.
All right.
But 5 days ago, there was a actual news article in the Lancaster Guardian. So this is pretty important. I'll bring it up on the screen. I can only imagine what Josh feels about this, but I hope he's going with his, girlfriend, and I can join them, maybe just sitting next to them.
I'm sure they'd love that.
Well, it's just friendly, just normal friendliness, surely.
Sure.
I know that's not something that Josh is normally really that used
I
to.
wouldn't call him friendly in any way, shape, or form, actually. Except for when he's star fucking Sylvester Stallone. And
we'll
what's
talk
his
about
name?
that later, once more people get online. The Morecambe to stage its first ever film festival with Stanley Kubrick, producer, as very special guest. Oh, what's this shit?
What are you doing? Your porn pop-ups.
No, it's just these crappy local newspapers are always like this. And,
yeah, they're desperate.
It's October the 27th to the 29th, so plenty of time to get ready for it. I'm already absolutely gagging for it.
And you're gagging for that new U2 release too.
He's actually a producer. He'll be there. I'm not sure. Let me just check.
Cockhouse is in the chat, and he's going to attend. Kubrick's brother-in-law.
Jan Harlan, in a Q&A following a gala screening of Full Metal Jacket.
Now, what's he going to say? I'm Kubrick's brother-in-law. He was bagging me sister,
Well, is
and
he
he married her.
The brother-in-law there, and also the producer then? So these two separate people. Oh, he was executive producer of the film, and he worked with Kubrick for more than 30 years.
Oh,
so
okay.
just imagine, that I'm going to be rubbing up against Jan Harlan, and I think many people will be rightly quite jealous.
Yeah.
Of me, and I mean, I'm hoping to give him the glad hand even, and say, would you like to work on a film me and Josh have been, embarking on?
Wait a second. So it said he's working on a Spielberg series on HBO for Kubrick's Napoleon. I didn't hear about this. I mean, I'm aware of Kubrick's Napoleon project and never. Jesus Christ. I'm aware that Kubrick wanted to make a Napoleon film.
This makes me want to go there immediately, just seeing this picture. Matt Panesh is the Morecambe Film Festival events coordinator.
He's a close friend of Josh Backhouse.
Looks like he's doing some good coordinating there.
All right, right there it says, hold on, stop. Well, now you've gone too far. Stop. Kubrick's blah, 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 blah. He was blah, 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 blah. He is currently working with Steven Spielberg on the new HBO series of Kubrick's Napoleon.
Yeah, I did hear one time about that, I think.
What, about the HBO series or that Kubrick's attempts at making Napoleon?
No, I only heard really that that was Spielberg's next project, but it didn't really. I think all it said obvious was stating the obvious, that this was something that Kubrick wanted to do. But
what does he mean, Kubrick's Napoleon? What did he write scripts? Did he have a loose outline?
Yeah.
And just gonna use his name now?
Like, not loose. I mean, obviously he would have made massive preparations for it. The same. Why did that
movie not? Why did that movie not go forward for Kubrick? I don't remember.
That's something that Josh would probably know about. I don't know.
Josh, can you tell us why Kubrick didn't proceed with his Napoleon film? What happened? I think my recollection is that Napoleon Dynamite was such a masterpiece that he was a little bit ashamed to make a movie about Napoleon, to follow something like that, because of how much he loved Napoleon Dynamite and respected the film. Here's Backhouse. Kubrick researched Napoleon for years. He basically got it down to knowing his goings on by the day. All right. So that's not answering my question. Why did the project not go forward?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary for him to have imagined every daily activity of Napoleon, which is
that sounds like bollocks to me.
Surely impossible anyway. So,
but he got up, jerked off.
I mean, Kubrick was like that in the sense of wanting to know everything, basically.
All right, Cameron has chimed in. He beat Josh to the reason. According to Cameron, another Napoleon film came out called Waterloo. It bombed. Finances fell through for Kubrick as a result. Well, isn't that something? I had no idea.
Waterloo came out and flopped. That's Cameron and both Josh say. So.
Interesting. I never saw Waterloo, so I can't speak to it. But a Napoleon TV series, long form on HBO, sounds interesting. Although, I mean, using Kubrick's name on it, I mean, I wonder how far he got into development on it. If what Josh is saying is true, that he knew his day-to-day routine, and I mean, what time he wiped his ass and what he had for breakfast or lunch, you know what I mean? When he napped, that kind of thing. Then maybe there's quite a bit there to work with, right? So, anyway, I believe that these series on streaming services are superior to films because you can go long form on them. if done correctly.
Josh really needs to get into filmmaking if he wants to benefit from a reduced fee. And
Good.
Yeah, their short films will join the growing community of international voices already entered.
All right, Chris here has chimed in. Good evening, gents. I believe Jack Nicholson was going to be Napoleon. Now that would have been interesting. Hi, I'm Napoleon. I'm going to conquer all of Europe. Yeah.
Well, so that voice sounds like he was Jewish or something.
Well, that's my Jack Nicholson impression. I'm Jack Nicholson. I was going to play Napoleon, you see? But I was too busy banging starlets up and down Mulholland Drive.
Okay. Well, it's
doing coke.
It's a very good impression, I must say.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so according to Cockhouse, he wrote the screenplay and scouted locations. And he agrees with Chris that what's his name was Jack Nicholson was considered, but also Al Pacino. Oh, I'm Napoleon. You got a great ass. I'm taking over Europe. I don't like the English.
So you're saying that Napoleon would be speaking in a New York kind of voice?
Yeah, Al Pacino only can do that. Depending on what point of his career, he just turned into this yelly voice that he does. This, rough, yelly voice. Oh, yeah. Let's go, boys. I'm 5'4". What was Napoleon's height historically? I mean, the whole Napoleon syndrome and short man complex and everything. Was he actually... Well, people were much shorter back then, weren't they?
He was 5'2".
Get the fuck out of here. Wait, did you just look that up, or are you just talking from your...
No, it's what I'm just looked it up on Google.
Have you? 5'2", my goodness. But what was the average height of a man back then? 5'6"? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was small, probably for what he was doing. First, he was nicknamed by his soldiers Le Petit Corporal or Le Petit Tondu. And, if he ever heard that, he would get very angry, obviously. So,
one of Al Pacino's greatest roles here, Davern brings up Donnie Brasco. He tells Johnny Depp, "Hey, kid, I got cancer of the dick."
I can't remember that line.
It's true. That is in the movie.
I actually watched that not so long ago again. Yeah.
What does he say? Hey, kid, I got cancer of the dick.
Cancer of the cock, maybe.
Cancer of the cock. I can't remember the exact line, but hang on a second. Let's look it up. I have to find out now. Because I don't want to mislead the people.
I've never even heard of anyone having cancer of the dick before.
Well, certainly there's testicular cancer.
Yeah, but you wouldn't call that. You'd say cancer of the balls, wouldn't you? You wouldn't say specify the dick. Well, someone like Josh would, because he's socially, inept.
Okay. Hey, kid, I got cancer of the prick. That's what it is. That's the line. My mistake.
Well, I don't know what that used to mean exactly, whether it is linked to... He could have had prostate cancer, probably, something like that. Sounds more likely, because that's going to affect everything, isn't it, if you've got prostate cancer? It
was very unpleasant, that's for sure.
I know. Absolutely. Take over your whole life if you had suffering something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My dad's brother had prostate cancer, but
very common. My father has suffered from it as well.
He managed to get it done privately, which was lucky for him, and they sort of...
Oh, so the lauded national health care, when someone can go privately to get things done, they went private instead of that, eh?
Only because of his luck and because that's what his job was. He got it with his job. he was involved in like car finance and stuff. So anyway, out of my dad and his brothers, he was the one who did the best on a monetary level. But yeah, they basically send lasers into the balls.
Correct.
So and then
it's fascinating procedure. It's what's it called?
Yeah, I actually asked if I could go, and I watched.
The machine it's named after not.
Well, I didn't only watch.
Is it a Da Vinci machine? I can't remember. It's named after one of the big.
When it happened, I was involved. I actually cooked.
Is that right?
Yeah, to try and give him reassurance and stuff.
Jesus, Sean McManus. Okay, here we go. This happens sometimes when somebody knows that there's a script out there. There's a new Napoleon film coming out by Ridley Scott with Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon. Jesus Christ. See, this is what happens. People say, what? They're making a Napoleon film? And then there's a rush to make a Napoleon film. Got to look this up. Oh, there it is. 19. Yeah.
Well, there's a picture of Joaquin Phoenix in it. So,
yeah, this is factually correct.
Just in a connection to Phoenix, there have been photos, actual footage of him filming Joker 2, and it's just the same thing that was released when he was doing the first one of him just running wildly down a street at some length. So, and none of it looked musical. So,
oh my God, I hope it's not a full-blown musical. Jesus Christ. Well, I like Ridley Scott, and Joaquin Phoenix usually does a pretty good job. Ridley Scott's Napoleon completes post-production, rated R for strong violence. Huh. Okay, so it's been given a rating. It's done. It has been test screened twice.
Well, if it's Ridley Scott, he's pretty comes in on time, and that film we saw last of him, didn't we? The
right, the one with Adam Driver and what's his name? The Last Duel, was that what it was called?
Yeah. Jodie Comer.
Apple was thinking of bringing this one to Cannes, but they decided not to, or Cannes, because they're bringing Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Say it right, please.
Cannes.
No, it's actually Cannes.
Oh, is it Cannes? Who's Vanessa Kirby?
Vanessa Kirby is she's an actress known for a few films which have been very highly praised. One where she plays a lesbian, I believe. She's like blonde hair. You'll recognize her from a few of the. She was in the last Mission Impossible film.
Okay.
If you look her up, you'll recognize her instantly.
Ridley Scott admitted to changing some of the script during filming because of Phoenix's unconventional approach to acting. Oh boy. 150 minutes in duration, so that's going to be one more couple hours long there. 2.5 hours.
Which is pretty much par for the course these days, but especially with Ridley Scott. I mean, this one's a bit of a better bet for him, though, as a director. So,
okay,
I would say.
I don't think you'll see Legend 2, Davern, because of the disgrace of Will Smith. Okay, Backhouse, as usual, with his comments. I bet that Joaquin Napoleon booms.
He means I Am Legend. He means that film Legend.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm not familiar then. Okay. It means the HBO show goes down goes down to shit. History repeating itself. Okay, well, that would be interesting. I think that it's going to be tough to get modern audiences to go see a Napoleon film.
How is that history repeating itself? Oh, you mean because of the Waterloo film?
Correct.
Which I've never even heard of it, basically.
Well, it must have been quite bad.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember who was in it. Did it have what's his name out of Exorcist 2? The Welsh actor.
I don't know. That's interesting. Well, I wonder, will modern audiences be interested in the Napoleon film. I would tend to think no, to be honest with you. I don't know why. Call me skeptical with the younger crowd nowadays in their 20s, but I could be wrong, you know?
Yeah, but they're not really aiming it at the same people who go out and see Scream 6, are they?
Yeah, I wonder what the budget was and what the release, what kind of numbers they need to break even.
Well, it must all add up, otherwise they wouldn't have even gone forward with it. You know, that like
Interesting.
like the Last Duel. You know that didn't. I think Ridley Scott himself said that people just weren't going to the cinema to see his stuff anymore. You
Mm.
know, so I don't know how these kind of things nowadays. The Last Duel seemed to perform well on home streaming and home viewing, but
Yeah, and it's a great film, by the way. I really enjoyed that film, and I do recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. Nice film. Interesting idea. Well acted. So go ahead and watch that film. Matt Damon's good. The Adam Driver is always good as usual, and the gal who plays Matt Damon's wife is good too. Have you even seen that film?
The Last Duel.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, of course I have. I saw it.
All of it?
Yeah, I didn't skim through it or anything.
Okay.
I quite enjoyed it for what it is.
Uh-huh.
It's
Interesting idea.
it enthralls you enough with the characters. You know, it's decent. It's nothing like unbelievably amazing, but it's okay. I think it helps having a good cast and also, you know, Jodie Comer in it. So, or Comer, I mean.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know who Jodie Comer is.
Was he the guy?
Jodie.
No, I don't know who that
It's
is.
a woman.
Was that the main girl? The main lady in the
She
film?
was in that, yeah, Killing Eve.
Matt Damon's wife?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know that she was the main draw, but okay, if you say so.
Well, you know, shall we just get this off the screen now for a minute?
Oh, geez. Sure.
Yes, in response to Davrin, I will say Threads is worth watching, definitely. I mean, I don't know about depressing. It is just a TV movie made in about 1983, or is it later than that? I can't remember. And you know, it's just well done. That's the thing. It's mostly filmed in Sheffield, but I'd have to watch it again myself. It was very much sort of inspired again by another late 60s or so black and white thing called The War Game, which showed kind of, you know, Fallout and stuff like that. So. Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone in the chats now is just really pretending to be all sort of like kooky and crazy and stuff. But
Well, you know.
I mean, come on, Davrin comes in with saying, I want a sequel to Legend, which was made in 1985 with Tom Cruise and Mia Sara. I mean, it's never going to happen.
Why do I not know this film with
Tim
Cruise?
Curry. Because it was widely regarded at the time as one of these turkeys.
Oh. Wow. He doesn't make too many of those.
I think that's... I don't think that was entirely fair on it, obviously, but I think that, you know, it has a certain audience who like fantasy films, etc. But at the same time, I think, you know, it was by no means perfect. I mean, it's like watching a long music video almost, but set in fantasy land sort of thing.
So, James, if you became a top-notch actor and you had to do a sex scene, make sex on a woman in a scene in a film, and they said, "Oi, there's going to be an intimacy coordinator," how would you feel about that?
Well, I think in my case, it would be helpful because sometimes, you know, I'm not sure where that line, you know, lies.
Huh.
If I was on a film set and I maybe just took it too far, you know,
All right. Well, would
I'd
you want to
like
be like?
somebody there who's like maybe holding rulers and everything around the set, saying you can't go any further than this. Don't go any nearer to than this. Like this.
This many millimeters? Yeah.
I'd probably only be allowed to get within 30 centimeters of a actress.
Well, Toni Collette, esteemed actress, doesn't like them. I told them to leave. So there you have it. Toni Collette is not interested in that. We have a very interesting chat.
So
there.
you inevitably think that means that she wants full intimacy.
Well, I mean, she didn't say that in the article. She just said she wants to get into the act and sort of trust her actors and the director and stuff, and not have to have somebody over there like a hall monitor.
I think for someone who's a very experienced actress like she is, it could come across as a bit of an insult, really.
I mean, look, she's got quite a bit of range. She's really an accomplished actress, isn't she? So a very interesting chat message came up. If you would highlight the last message from Secret Extra. If you would.
Thank you, Secret Extra, for your comment. I've never seen you before in the chat.
Well, listen to this. Hi all, I'm a long-time viewer, but I've created this account to prompt a discussion. I've just spent a few days working as an extra on a big budget movie. Did you want to AMA or shall I go away? AMA, for those of you who don't know, means ask me anything. Secret Extra, would you be willing to come on the show?
Well, I think that I don't know if they mean AMA in the sense of in the chat. Probably, you would imagine.
Well, I mean, I think an AMA would be better if she came on or he came on. We don't know if it's a man or a woman, so just that's a very feminine name.
Or possibly, Extra. Or ideally a trans
person. Yeah, could be. But I would like to know.
Ideally, heavily unconvincing trans, like lives in this village.
Do you have a couple of those that are unconvincing?
Just one.
Okay, so all right, you would prefer to stay in chat. Are you a male or a female? Do you have preferred pronouns so that we know how to address you?
That's very important for Voltaire. He likes to keep,
If somebody puts it on their resume, I automatically shred it.
Cool.
Oh, they're NDA to the hilt. Okay, it's a dude. All right, sir. You're NDA to the hilt. So, can you tell us where was this filmed? Was it filmed in Los Angeles, New York, Toronto? One of these type. What was it? Can you share that?
Well, if you NDA to the hilt, how are we going to do an AMA?
Well, they have an anonymous account, don't they?
Oh, I get it now.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm catching the drift.
All right. Correct, Phantom Cooper. I would never admit that publicly. It's 100%. You can't do that to people. It's a new movie.
You can't do it like that. Come on.
What?
If people put that on there, you can't take that as an indication of everything about them. It would just mean that they're younger, for instance.
It would mean that they're a problem. Or chances are they're a problem. That's why I'm anonymous, Phantom Cooper, because I know that people would report me. It's okay. It's a new movie from Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen is alive?
No, stop Steve McQueen, for God's sake.
What's Steve McQueen then?
Steve McQueen, he's a black.
Oh
yeah, I'm so sorry for saying that somebody's black. I mean,
you said he's a black.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't mean it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise. Just directing, he's born in 1969 in London. He was known for 12 Years a Slave, Shame, and then that one where somebody was tortured. What was it called?
Hostel.
No. Hunger.
Oh, you like that joke? Okay, good. All right.
One
So
film
he's
that nobody
got
ever talks about by him is Widows. So,
all
so
right.
I've
So
seen
he's
that.
got two films that are upcoming. One in where he's directing called Occupied City, which is in post production, and then he's also got Blitz, which is still in production. So I'm going to presume it's Blitz, Secret Extra. Okay. Well, Josh has already cockblocked the AMA by getting in there with some questions. Okay, yeah, it is Blitz. Okay, so any questions as life is an extra? Where was it filmed? Can't you tell us where it was filmed or where you were
Well,
working out of?
Occupied City is a documentary for one thing about Nazi occupation during World War II. So it wouldn't be that, would it? If
Well,
you
no,
research.
he's already confirmed it's Blitz.
Blitz is the story of a group of Londoners during the events of the British Capitol bombing in World War II.
Well, that's a
So
tremendous topic.
this means that basically the only qualification to be in it was for him to go, "Oh, what, mate? Want some? You want some peas? And no, you want some?
Stiff upper lip, mate.
Would you like some? A cup of tea?"
Oi, that Winston Churchill's really something. Actually, had Hitler continued the Blitz like another 2 weeks, maybe 3, he would have finished you people. But he didn't keep pushing through, which is good for you because who knows what life would be like had he taken.
Stephen Graham's in it, is it? Is he, George?
Yeah, here's a cast: Harris Dickinson, Stephen Graham, Kathy Burke, Haley Squires, Graham Fox, Saoirse Ronan, Aaron Kelly, Joseph Alton, Christopher Chung, Lee Gill.
This is actually a good cast for sure. Very good.
Interesting. Well, I love World War II films. I really do. And The Blitz is a super interesting.
Hey, Paul Weller's in it.
In history. All right. Okay.
Do you know who Paul Weller is?
No, I don't actually.
He's a singer. He was known from the band The Jam.
The what?
The Jam.
That sounds made up. Okay, here's the cast up on the screen, everybody. There you go. Well, how do you say this name? I don't know this girl. I don't like her name.
Let me look. I can't see properly.
Saoirse, Saoirse.
Charisse, something like that.
Who knows? So it's pretty pretentious in my mind.
It's just Irish, I think.
Okay, so you played an extra. So have you done extra work before Secret Extra? All right.
Not a secret extra.
Are you Philip? Oh my God! Why would you think it's Philip? Philip, didn't do any extra work as far as I know, unless he started doing that. Which if he is,
Saoirse is a better way of saying it. Saoirse.
Right. Well, good for you. That Haley Squires looks familiar to me. All right.
Maybe you met her somewhere.
It was your first gig. All right. And so what were you, just a background shot while the Blitz was going on and you're running to the shelter? Oi! Oh, it's the air sirens are going off to the shelters.
That would be a rather mannered and long-winded way of speaking when everybody's trying to get down into like the shelters where often they use the underground stations.
Yeah.
So did you do any of that kind of on-set type of
you would think
extras?
Yeah, you would think for that kind of film that would be the most extra work they would have is people running and that kind of thing. But I guess there could have been background on the street. So it could have been just a day-to-day scene.
So basically every extra in the film was always running.
Well, no, but there would be work for that kind of thing. Because, extra implies there's a crowd around. Oh! Bloody hell!
Hello to Josh.
Saoirse Ronan.
Secret Extra says Saoirse. I take
Saoirse
Secret
Ronan.
Extra.
She was in.
Yeah, we know who she is. She's been in shitloads of films.
Yeah,
I've never heard of her.
See
I've
How
never
They
heard
Run
of
It. She's supposed to be good, apparently. That comedy.
See how they
I,
run.
You know, I saw that with Sam Rockwell. I wasn't.
Oh, geez, here we go with the name dropping again. Go ahead.
Wasn't a big fan. It was okay. It was all right.
You saw it with Sam Rockwell, though.
I was sat there with Sam Rockwell's in the film, and he invited me to see it with him. Yeah.
You know, it often just comes for a few weeks to just stay and relax and unwind in Morecambe. He likes the hospitality and the host of things to do there.
I am basically the only person. If people want to come to Morecambe, I'm the guy that they want to. You know,
that guy who makes models. Yeah, they all
have
get
them show.
They all get referenced through Sylvester Stallone. He's like, hey,
exactly.
Go to my boy Josh Backhouse.
That's a terrible Sylvester Stallone accent.
You can't be talking about that anyway. Because
is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's actually going. Good for you. Congratulations for that.
Yeah. Don't.
Well, yeah. Now that you've told James not to, he's going to purposely mention it nonstop. And
I imagine now that he knows, and I've told him not to mention it.
No, I'm not going to mention it.
The first thing he'll do is immediately get hold of Stallone's agent.
He'll at him on Twitter, and he'll at Frank Stallone too, because he feels like he might be more accessible. So, try not to do that, James. Okay, there's no reason for that.
No, don't do that.
So, other than that, what are you working on? Any particular projects you're working on that you want to share with the people?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Any Twin Peaks related things?
It's not popular enough.
It would be if you could sell it to
who?
Twin Peaks fans are very poor people. So.
They're financially destitute for the most part. Josh is only appealing to a high-end crowd, So
this is bullshit.
Put it this way, Twin Peaks fan. We're you, James, specifically a part of the Twin Peaks community, and who do you keep friends with? Mandela Man, whose heart is upside down. Philip, who gets really
Philip from about 5 years ago.
You've really been thinking about Philip.
And ever since 5 years ago, the only correspondence I get is, "Will you not bring me up, please?"
Well, I mean, you broke the man's heart. He gave you his phone number, and you took a week, and you hadn't called him, or what was it?
I really liked Philip, and
likewise.
No, if he'd given it me now, I called him.
Johnny.
Then my eye was not on the ball. So.
Don't say that name.
Who
Oh, come on! There's no need for any of this stuff.
There's no need for what?
Let the guest speak, James, please.
Say whatever you want on it. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, probably. So,
who else was there? Oh God, how can we forget Mark LaRock?
No, Mark was a good.
What else are we going to say about Johnny then?
I don't know. Maybe you should say something about Johnny.
No, there's no hard feelings. It's just like,
oh, really?
Hard.
Well, there were at the time, but now
you had hard feelings about him at the time.
Water under the bridge, isn't it? Really?
Well, how come when I asked you, like a couple of weeks ago, hey, would you consider unblocking him? You lost your shit.
Well,
what are you messaging me about unblocking him? If it's such a concern to you, you talk to him. Stuff like that. I mean,
I was still a bit sore about it then.
Oh, I see. So in the last couple of weeks, things have changed. Okay, well, that's okay.
I actually did unblock Johnny recently, and as soon as I did it, he sent me a friend request, and I was like,
"Oh,
there you go." Well, what about the guy who got shot when he opened his front door?
Oh, that's John. Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, more recently, Peter, I think, was a very upstanding guest.
Peter was great. I liked Peter's energy, and
yeah, I liked him quite a bit.
His stories about beating people up were really good.
Punching dogs and stuff.
Dogs.
I mean,
I like when James goes, you let in that stranger? Yeah, I could have him, so I could have him in me place.
That was great. He really wanted to have him.
Yeah. Well, he could handle himself.
Yeah. Well, that's what he was doing at the time, I think.
Mm.
But yeah, but they're punching dogs in the nose. That's not really.
It could happen.
Yeah, but it sounded like that dog really deserved it.
It was a drug dealer's dog, so that makes it like
He was
Hitler's
asking for it,
dog.
makes it automatically evil.
Right.
Fraternizing with a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there?
Well, yeah, Mark actually. I did have contact with him recently.
What?
What the fuck did you do that for?
He added me again, and
Why?
we did discuss about how you were fat shaming him back then and stuff. And
Who was?
he mentioned that you were making fun of him for that, and I said, I said if that happened now, I would definitely take a harder stance on it. So
What a load of shit.
something like that. I know I really did. I said like, yeah, it was a bit out of hand to say the least.
I don't think I ever said Mark was fat once.
I don't recall that.
You
Somebody
probably did.
called him a fat Trump supporter. I
Yeah, that
remember.
was Ben.
Oh, that was Ben. That makes sense. That sounds like something he'd say.
He's just getting confused about two different
Well,
English
maybe
guys.
There you
he's
go.
combining you. Yeah, I mean, but the whole
Yes,
thing
yes.
was.
No, Josh is right. Josh is innocent. That I do
There was
remember
a
that.
spirit of sort of insanity. About
Listen,
the whole
I
I
own up to what I say to people, and I never called Mark fat.
Oh, how big of you? You.
But I did call him a boring twat.
Okay.
No, stop repeating that now. That's not really necessary, is it?
Mm.
I mean, that is true.
It's not though. He wasn't. There's no need to start calling someone a boring twat because I actually said to him that you were basically only doing that because you were worried that he was taking your space on the show.
Absolutely.
It was jealousy and envy. You're right, James.
It was envy. Yeah, I
You
was really
nailed
upset about that.
No, but if the show isn't just non-stop idiocy,
Mm.
and
Do you remember when Chris Pinchbeck did MD
craziness.
on the show?
Well, you could see it actually on his face.
You could
so-
see it dribbling out of his nose.
He had like a white streak on his cheek. I mean, it was just.
I wish you'd kept that show because there was I think there was a lot of people on that day. There was like 10 people on or something stupid. And you could, it was back in the days of Google Hangouts. So what would happen is that the screen would skip to whoever's mic was active at the time.
Right.
And he made a noise on his counter, and the camera just instantly went to him snorting something up, and then
Nice.
James going, I mean, trying to like say something to get the camera open. and then all you could see was Chris Pinchbeck afterwards going, yeah, like that.
All right, we don't start turning it all into another drugs fest thing.
It was amazing. Do you remember when Joe pissed on camera in the toilet?
Yeah, of course. That was like him angling the camera perfectly so you couldn't see his wiener. So.
Yeah.
Gentlemanly
That
of him.
And that was when his wife was having a go at him at some point. Do you remember that?
Mm.
He was sat on the sofa and his
I
wife
think
was
Joe's actually married, but
his girlfriend then was shouting like, "Will you get off that fucking program?" over his shoulder, and he was like, "Yeah."
What? See, despite the fact that she was in Boston.
Yeah, she had a northern English accent.
That's
And
common.
but she had like a Spanish name, which I found strange.
Well, there's
Italian
all
more.
kinds of Latinas in America. It's very common.
It's racist.
in America, and his partner was, I think, or at least sort of South American even.
Josh, how did you
when,
feel?
do you remember when Cameron turned up in a video and didn't talk but held up signs?
No, I don't actually.
That was really good.
That is really good.
He wouldn't talk to James, and James was going. James was pretending that he didn't know Cameron was on the video.
Oh, that I do remember now. I do remember that now. Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Cameron's in the video, James," and he was like, "What? Cameron's in my video?"
I can't see him. Yeah.
I can't see. And then Cameron was not talking, and he was just writing down on like cardboard and holding the sign up to the camera, saying things like James is a complete prick or something.
What's
whatever.
going on here? Look, sounds like Ashton's.
Oh, Ashton's
congratulations on managing to work your computer. Hello. I'm pleased to see you, Ashton. Well, fair enough.
Oh, I think maybe a mic's not working.
This is my usual kind of response I get from women generally in society.
Silence.
A look of
Fear and confusion.
Absolute disdain.
What's happening?
This is what happens when you walk into the spa and you say, "All right, have you got any curry on the? There's no curry on the shelves." And then they're like, "What are you talking about? It's all packed." And you're like, "Anyway, have you seen Twin Peaks?" And they go, "No, I've told you, James. I've not seen Twin Peaks." And they go, "Oh, you really should."
What about Cannibal Holocaust?
It's by David Lynch. Have you heard of David Lynch?
They say, no, we're Indian. All we do is watch Indian Bollywood films. We're dancing. So does this mean that Ashton's on the video but not able to speak or hear?
Well, she can hear, but she's just nodded in the affirmative that she can't speak.
She's put in the private chat.
You could do a sign like that awful British film when he comes to the door and does all that.
You mean like Cameron did?
Cameron already did.
Yeah,
that,
right.
Right.
He was writing love messages to me.
He said something like, James is not blocked from Twin Peaks worldwide or something. And James was like, people keep saying that Cameron's in my video. He's not in my video. I'm looking now. He's not there.
I can't believe you remember all of this stuff so much.
Well, I remember a lot of shit. Yeah. Like when Cameron said something like... oh,
yeah, this is like the most famous part, probably, I imagine.
Maybe, yeah. Like when he said you were causing trouble on the page, so I had you blocked.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to out you on YouTube. I've just did it. Just told everyone. And then James famously goes, Cameron, do you honestly think I give a fuck?
Yeah, that was great. That was a great one.
I was outed on YouTube.
He was doing that thing when he's pissed where he was leaning back and just listening to Joe and Cameron talk. And then Cameron mentions, then he leaned forward and he goes, Cameron, do you honestly think I give a fuck?
It was more sort of like, it wasn't as aggressive as that. It was more like, it was kind of a little bit upset. There was a little bit of upset in the voice.
And exasperation. You know?
It was like, Cameron.
I mean, absolutely, that's true.
Yeah. Cameron, do you honestly think I give a fuck?
I was just fed up of the whole thing by that point.
Yeah. And then Joe interjected and started saying, come on, we're all friends. Don't worry, we're all friends here. And James is going, we're not friends, Joe. We're not friends.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Do you remember when Ben's mum turned into a dog?
Oh yeah, that was famous.
Well, that's well documented.
Yeah, that's true.
And the video that is available for Josh's Best of Twin Peaks, and that's really one of the best moments on the show ever.
It's one of the best things that ever happened on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. It's sad that more people don't know about it because really it was something.
James's concern was one of the best aspects of that, I think.
Yeah, but also how much aggravated Ben's
well, that she ended up telling you to go fuck yourself or something.
No, he goes, your mum was there. Where is your mum, Ben? Where's your mum? And she emerges from behind the Christmas tree and goes, I'm fucking off out of here. That's what I'm doing. I'm fucking right out of here.
That's just how aggro Ben is when he's online, you know.
Yeah, Ben's. Oh, I nearly shared something then. I shouldn't have done. Just thought. Me and Ben are going to meet. What are you laughing at?
Can you put up my screen for a moment, please?
Thanks for sending that, Cameron. I mean, this is just too much.
Go ahead, put up my screen. I think
Go
that
on, put it
people
up.
need to see this.
Oh, have you already got it?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you stood. The page is over.
Cameron, Joe's got me back, not yours. The page is over. You've ruined it, Cam. James is threatening me about BS. You gay cunt.
Dear God.
Oh, thank you, Cameron.
I'm really happy that you kept that, Cameron.
Lest anybody mess with
Looking back
Cameron,
on that,
he
I
keeps
pretty
the
much deserved
receipts.
my response.
He does keep the receipts. There's no question about that.
I love
Send
that
Josh's
for
app as well.
about 2 years after that, James was in total denial that he ever called him a gay cunt.
He was.
I did not say that. I did not put those words. No, you did, and that's where GC came from.
Well, I wasn't quite in my right mind. Partly because of the power of Twin Peaks and the fact that it was coming back, the excitement of all that, and then just something else that was going on amongst us as fans. So when you look at all of that and how we had our fallings out, it's not very hard to see how there can be this sort of crazy cult of other fans that Cameron has dealt with, which is what they were. They were a cult, or are.
Now, Josh, did you see that message I posted from Cameron when Cameron was trying to get that girl, that lady, to not think he was guilty of calling her a cunt? And he said, I thought about it, and I do a show with Joe and James, both alcoholics, and perhaps it was one of them who said it, not me. Did you catch that?
Can you imagine someone getting that message saying, "Yeah, I do a show with James and Joe, both alcoholics." Oh, all right then, fair enough. I like you.
Oh, that explains everything, doesn't it? Okay.
You are a well-known alcoholic, though.
No,
Like,
I mean,
no, he's been clean. Let's be fair.
In the community,
even during that time when I said that to Cameron, there was nothing to do with drinking. It was like I was like literally a cult in my own head.
A what?
I was my own cult.
Cult.
You certainly
just
are.
Think about it. I was coming on in line in the morning, and I was finding all of these photos behind the scenes on Dugpa that people had put up, like in a kind of secretive type of manner, yet still public. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll just save all of those and then put them all up on the main page." And that's the kind of mindset I had. So when people then went crazy, they were like, "You didn't even ask us to put those up." And I was like, "Well, why do I need to ask you? You're a bunch of seed." Yeah, I had a bad opinion of a lot of American.
I don't know why anybody ever had a problem with you, James. I can't understand that.
It's surprising, really, if anything.
Well, I know. I just didn't know a lot of these people, and like, especially interacting with Joe and stuff, we had a very scathing opinion of a lot of people, didn't we?
Hey, what's this? You didn't like American Twin Peaks fans when the show is American and most of the fan base is in America? The thing is, you had better interactions with UK Twin Peaks fans or Eastern European Twin Peaks fans?
I'd say I had better interactions with, say, Italian Twin Peaks fans or people like that. Like,
was there a lot of those then?
No, there was a minority of there was some brilliant, just like that guy called Reggie who made the kind of clips.
Yeah.
Reggie was terrific.
So don't forget about
majority of American fans were great. It's not like, don't take it as some kind of anything to do with the specific continent.
No, I was just making a joke. Honestly, and Cameron, I know this is a sore spot for you, but don't take it this way. That video Reggie made of Cameron, where he took the season 3 stuff. He goes, "You've unleashed a swarm that you have done." That was just absolutely brilliant.
It was dynamite.
My goodness, that was the golden age.
No, but I think it's all, what they say about what goes around comes around and all that kind of idea, which is
I've never heard that.
Pretty deep thought for me. Yeah, basically, like me and Joe were going around literally, and he would call it like staring pressing the bear or touching.
You were
the bear.
going around and coming around.
The term is poking the bear.
Poking the bear, yeah, or staring the hornet's nest. We were doing that, and then it's like you kind of get this idea that everybody's against you, and so that is inevitably going to colour your interactions with people. For instance, even with Cameron, because he wanted to take everything online in the Twin Peaks World page far more seriously into a sort of like a growing page. And our work had already been done. We'd done all the kind of, the missing Cooper thing. And so you can understand. But the thing is, there were some Twin Peaks fans, and there are ones, for instance, in the US, who are very sort of self-righteous, and it's like they own it almost.
Yes.
And it's their identity. And
they must be. It sounds like a really successful group of people.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about that, but it's that probably differs. But there's some people who become very preoccupied with it.
Not like you.
Well, if you call preoccupied calling someone a GC, I mean, I wouldn't say I was preoccupied with it in a productive manner necessarily at that point. I mean, I was very happy with the whole missing Cooper thing. And then, when I saw Carl McLaughlin actually holding up one of those pictures, I was like, this is amazing. It's like reaching out there beyond what we originally imagined. And then came to the actual point of the show coming out and everything. It's almost like I just lost interest in the fandom by that point. But you only have to go on places like the Dugpa or now Tulpa Forum and just to see the kind of people that are in this fandom. And it's sort of, I am almost like, I am someone who just has had it up to here with it. And just, when I see it, I call it.
Is that
I don't take shit. Just like Josh as well. He's like that. He doesn't take shit from the Twin Peaks community.
Shit from no man. Including James.
What's happened to your mic, Josh?
You hear me now?
I never gave you any shit.
You give me shit all the time, James.
I've been very supportive of your model making.
You have, but that's since I've not been on the show. Like, usually what would happen is I'd come on the show and like try and inject a bit of humor and a bit of try and inject a bit of energy into the proceedings, and you'd sort of be like, "Oh, come on, can we just talk about Twin Peaks, please? Like, this show is called, Twin Peaks Coffee Time, and we spend most of the time burping."
Oh, some good times.
And you'd get very upset. And
yeah, but I mean,
there'd be a breakdown once every 3 months.
Yeah, I know, but we were in this mindset, or at least I was, of where I was sort of
mental,
still thinking that there was something coming along the way in the Twin Peaks world.
And I would say, and I was constantly saying it's not happening, Jamie.
You were a naysayer, yeah.
I was a naysayer, and you were like, it is. And now, yeah. Where would you say you stand now on that?
Well, I'm pretty positive overall about anything like that, but at the same time, it's I don't know how to express it properly. I think that Lynch and etc. and whoever he's working with have tried to do something and possibly made something. It's just a case of when it is released, really. That's all. Okay. That's my opinion, anyway.
Well, okay.
But in terms of it being specifically at this point Twin Peaks related, I'm not sure either. So
I doubt it's got anything to do with Twin Peaks, if anything has been made at all.
Yeah.
Which I don't really think it has.
Yeah, but you're basing that on nothing.
Because exactly. That is exactly what I'm basing it on.
Because you've not even researched it. Whereas I have actually researched it a bit.
So you're telling me that Lynch has filmed secretly for the past 4 years, and just gone, oh fuck it, I can't be asked putting that out.
Yeah, with Sylvester Stallone, probably.
Well, yeah, that would be interesting. That is something I would definitely watch.
No, I don't. I don't think Lynch has been doing something for 4 years. No.
Oh, well.
But you see, like Davrin in the chat, he's a member of that crappy Tulpa forum, and this is the same kind of negativity that he showcases there.
Well,
But
you see what this.
The thing is, with Davrin, it's based on nothing. He doesn't even reach out to anyone because he can't.
No.
He doesn't know how to communicate with people.
Maybe he's got inside sources. You don't know.
He doesn't know shit.
Oh,
shit from
So therefore,
Shine
if you
Oil,
don't,
like
if you
to
don't know anything, why would anybody declare that nothing is happening? That's just like pointless.
all right, okay.
So you do the same thing, Josh, and it gets me really, really angry.
oh my.
Well, you make me angry, so
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, maybe we should kind of, wrestle it out or something.
I think we should get the mats out and we should give it a go. Yeah.
The nude pudding wrestling that you guys are always talking about.
Well, I can just imagine that James would basically be dominated by me. I think I would get on top of him and sort of say,
Uh-oh.
I would wrap my thighs around him
Oh God.
and
You-
sort of be like, get.
You know that he would just pretend to be struggling, be like, "Oh
refer to
no, I've lost. Oh, you've got
Yeah, he
to
would
refer to that
roll on the
about
floor,
me."
and I'd be like, "You're a dog. You're a female dog,"
Uh-huh.
and he would be like, "Yeah, I am. I am."
Woof
a dog."
woof, love.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
a
say
bitch.
I'd say have that.
Wow, very aggressive.
I'd say have it. I'd wrap my legs around him and put a grapple around his head, and he'd be like, "Oh no,
And you'd love it.
you've got me!
What?
You've got me!"
Where's
That's
Ben? He would love this.
And then I'd lay some blows on you and you'd love it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
Mm.
lay it right on me.
That's actually based on a real wrestling club that we've seen online. So Cameron is glad to see Ashton on camera as evidence of her being real. This is what we aim to bring on this channel.
Evidence.
Evidence of realness.
Yeah. Well, you see.
By the
you
way,
see-
Ashton is not an AI conjuring that I've been programming all week. Either.
That'd be beautiful.
I'd just like to say I've been on some of those AI art sites and things like that, and I hate them.
Why?
It's
Did
the
you get
future.
You put in
You get
things
too
like Twin
attached.
Peaks and Woods and Owls, or get like these random dudes with like grey beards and slick back hair. And it's like it knows Twin Peaks, but then it's taking the piss a bit.
Yeah.
Like the AI.
Well, I know
bastard.
you hate. I know you hate that. You really hate people taking the piss.
Yeah, I do. I don't like it. I mean, obviously,
No,
you used to do it a lot, and but
I don't know what you're talking
glad that
about.
I'm just glad that you've laid that to waste and learnt your ways.
I've never taken the piss.
Learned the better ways. I mean, sorry.
I've not once never made fun of anything.
Well, anyway, let's just get to what Jamie's talking about. Good to see you here, Jamie. I hope you're feeling all right today. She's raided the dollar store movie section and spent $125 shopping therapy. Hashtag Phantom Cooper.
What has she bought? 125 films?
That just shows that you don't
That's
buy
just
film culture.
That's just. fucking-
I mean, it's not like Poundland where
I got to tell you, I feel bad for her husband. If my wife went out and showed up with a bunch of fucking physical DVDs,
don't have a wife, for God's sake.
No, but if I did, and she went out and showed up with
It's my
100.
imaginary wife.
Oh, I've just spent $125 on
It's
DVDs.
Just think your
More clutter.
your whole countenance and reception of that might be better if you were actually married. Then you'd be like, oh, I love 125 DVDs.
Voltaire, I have to agree, James. I think if you were married, you would like lay down and just be like, oh, like you pretend to be like, I
Throw
put
them all
my-
over the bed.
Yeah, I put her in line, but really,
Okay,
you'd be
yeah.
like-
So you think that's why I'm not married because I fear becoming that? Is that it? That's possible.
Maybe, yeah. You'd fear.
Yeah, you fear DVD purchases. That's maybe
Yes.
Or any physical media.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd be like that response thing, if you saw one coming over the
Kill Bill
threshold. Yeah. You used to do that with me, didn't you? So.
Yeah, I did. When it would all go wrong, especially when there was people that weren't used to you. If somebody wasn't used to you and they'd come on the show and it'd all go a bit wrong, I did used to.
Can't imagine how that could happen.
No, I don't know how that could happen ever. No.
I don't know what you're talking about because it's me. No. I did get angered by Cameron saying, "What are you talking about?" Though, got to remember that. That's
because you'd say something.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fucking hell! Right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of high spirits.
Do you know what? We've never really gotten to the bottom of what happened with Richard Taylor.
Well, it was pretty easy
because someone was posting something on a Twin Peaks page about, would you love to see a season 4 and stuff? Just like a post like that, and in the comments, and he immediately just responded with a link to his page, Twin Peaks season 4. And I mean, that's what happened. Richard went batshit crazy. You can't make a page like that, in my opinion.
He was very against discussing polarizing politics. And then James, myself, and Vin did a politics episode on a Saturday specifically.
Oh, yeah.
And it was heated, of course. And Richard was in the chat, and he didn't like it. And then Ben called him an old cunt in the chat, and he left the chat because of Ben attacking him. And then it sort of all spiraled out of control from there.
That's not really. That's another one of Ben's high points. That one.
Gosh, you don't remember him calling him like an old cunt, and he's he just went after him. Yeah,
I don't remember this at all.
You don't remember him calling him like old, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And
Ben didn't have any ability to The thing is, when you type something and then you send, he doesn't have that thing that stops him. Even typing that, it really wasn't necessary. But
there's a reason he did those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Well, just to be disruptive.
Yeah, but there was a certain kind of target that triggered him, that still triggers him to this day. So,
What do you mean?
So are you two both still in contact with Richard?
I feel bad. We would message back and forth a few times and that kind of thing, but I haven't kept up. But I'm not blocked like James is blocked, I think, by him. And I am in his group.
I think it was only a matter of time if you look back and think about how many times James would play the stylophone while Richard was trying to make a point about something connective tissue of the return, and then Richard Taylor would be saying, so if you think about Bobby, and then all you'd hear is like that.
Or if the talk started getting a little too ridiculous, he'd say, "Well, what do you think? What do you think about having angels at the end of Fire Walk with Me? That's never been mentioned in Twin Peaks." That was one of his go-tos to get back on topic. Yeah. Which it was a legitimate point, by the way.
A very good comment was, Philip kept saying that season 3 was an advertisement for Transcendental Meditation. And then Richard said, "Well, Ike the Spike, that wasn't very transcendental meditation, was it?"
Oh boy. Yeah, they had a whole thing. Philip had a whole thing about that. It was interesting. I quite liked Richard.
There were a lot of high spirits, and there was a lot of anger and just craziness, really. Just with Philip, I don't know why he was getting angry over certain things, really. But people can become very defensive.
I think he was angry that you hadn't phoned him.
That was one of the best. I've given you my phone number. You've not called.
Yeah, that was just a misunderstanding.
And you got very defensive, like, "Oh, I can't just call everybody whenever they want."
No, I think one of the best moments is He's actually on the best of.
No, but he gave me his landline, and I only had so it doesn't
It's on the
really
best of.
compute, does it?
It's when James is obviously hitting a low point in the show, and Philip says something like, are you sort of getting tired of doing this now then?
Mm-hmm.
And James went, well, I mean, I don't really come on and do this just to get questions thrown at me like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was quite defensive. Yeah, I mean, Philip asked me that, did he?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
And then
Well,
he
was a little bit trying to get me riled, sort of. I think
it's not hard.
No, you were doing your usual soliloquy that you go through periodically. These videos, I don't even know why I do them. I don't even think these people like me. I got to get some new people on these videos. I don't even know what's going on.
Look at Ashton now. She's not even saying anything. Ashton's doing a parody of when we used to play.
Well, I know, and you could see your head steaming from it.
Why is Chloe not even speaking? Yeah.
Why is Chloe? She's not Chloe. Oh
no, he's saying that was a parody of
Chloe.
Yes.
She would be a bit quiet at times, wouldn't she? Particularly as it went on. But...
That really got you upset when Chloe would come on and sort of sit there, and she'd make the odd comment or do the odd joke every once in a while, but you would get very, very upset by Chloe's presence.
Right, and if she was just laughing at jokes,
which still confuses me to this day. How
I wouldn't say I was getting. I think I was just a bit unsettled by her because it's a bit like she was like something from The Shining. Like she'd just come on and she'd be like scaring me a bit in the corner.
No, she wouldn't. She was fine. You went on Jamie's show and said, "I don't even know why Chloe's on there. She doesn't do anything. She's no good." And then shockingly, you said something along those lines.
It was that, yeah.
And you said, "Josh and Voltaire, I don't even think they like me."
And then he said,
well, "Come on, all of that was."
So you have to remember, he was on Jamie's show. It's Jamie's on the East Coast of America, so it would have been like James having a sleepless night. So it would have been like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and then
he's agitated.
I think he also leaned onto the same old thing of, Voltaire and Josh. I don't even think they like me. And, and then he goes, and I've met Josh in person.
It's like 4 years ago now.
See, now I was watching that live, and I remember thinking, "Wow, if Josh was here, he'd type in the chat, 'Well, you're right, I don't,' or something along those lines."
Absolutely. Yeah, you got me down to a T.
You have to have a certain a likability aspect with the show, otherwise people won't come on. So, but that's
why nobody comes and does the show with you.
No, I know, and well, you have to reach out for people. But the fact is, like now, it is very difficult to find people who are as enthusiastic, for instance, as Ashton is.
Yeah.
Even though she is at this moment unable to speak or something, but that's just not representative. I think based on things that are happening, like even if Lynch had released an hour-long thing that was on Netflix, that would conjure up a bunch of people online, and then you'd be able to get in contact with them. But
I remember how happy Voltaire was when What Did Jack Do was released. He was ecstatic about that.
That was a good time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I said is, Chloe, have your personality.
Yeah, see, I could see you saying that.
Well,
Chloe doesn't have your personality. Now that Jamie had left because she was being berated by James.
Well,
exactly.
Okay, maybe that's the wrong.
Jamie left for the same reason.
he longed for her.
Yeah,
Jamie was very. By the way, Jamie was very polite when she was trying to, put aside what he was saying and say, I don't think Chloe's great and all that kind of thing. She was very kind during that show. To her credit,
I think that Jamie's reaction to James talking about Gatorade or whatever.
Oh Jesus!
That was one of the best things ever.
Mountain Dew or Gatorade, yeah.
Mountain Dew, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, if you go back and watch that show when Jamie tells him to fuck off and leaves, and then you watch after the show, and see how James is the rest of the show. I'm trying to snap him out of it. It's really something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. He's getting a bit of that now. He's just blocked Davern.
I was going to say, James got a blackout.
But this is the thing. It's like everything is commented on that I'm doing. Like here, like Davern's writing stuff in the chat saying, "I wish Johnny was on again. His giggling was infectious." I mean, that's my problem with Johnny. That's all he did. He just giggled. Unless he wanted to ring me up on the spur of the moment and call my mum a whore and me a bipolar.
Okay, well, that was a fit of anger, but the giggling
that's a fit of anger. That means he'll never be on here again.
Okay, well, all right.
I can't trust him. He's not.
Okay, don't go back to this. You just said it's all water under the bridge about 20 minutes ago. Right, the show doesn't tolerate mental illness at all.
No, if you don't deal with your mental health, I don't ring him up and start calling him a marijuana smoker, do it or something. He just rang me out of the blue. If someone did that to you, you wouldn't be letting them off. You know, if Johnny had done that to you, you wouldn't be letting him off.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true.
So he was out of line. There's no question. He was out of line. There's no question. But he apologized. No,
he didn't. He never.
He didn't apologize to you.
No.
Listen, I think this is just a case of like Johnny is to James what Ben is to Voltaire.
No, not at all. Sorry, Josh. That's completely different. And you've witnessed it. Johnny got into it with James because James kicked his brother from the chat and angered Johnny. Right? So there was some not justifying what he did, but there was some genesis to Johnny's anger. Whereas the person you're speaking of just attacks for the sake of attacking because he just doesn't like some of the jokes I make and that kind of thing, and sees me as the man type of thing. Which you've seen it. I don't have to say anything. I mean,
what I'm saying with Johnny is he's always combative right from the start. I knew him because he tried posting a variety of things on Twin Peaks Coffee Time, and I deleted them because I didn't like how he kept repeatedly posting various things which were very similar. And I didn't even know him or anything. And he just immediately writes to me saying, "Why the fuck did you delete those things and everything?" And I was like, "What the hell?" Someone's writing to me immediately with the fuck word, But I thought basically for a laugh, why don't I in the end? Why don't I get him with the F word? Why don't I get him on the show in the end, just for a laugh? And I did, and it lasted for so long, and that's it.
Yeah, Johnny, quite a few shows together.
Johnny took over from where I left off. Took over where I left off, basically.
No, Josh. He was doing many more shows with James, like they did a lot of shows together, like during.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I stopped.
Well, obviously, he's not you, is he? So.
And I'm not him.
And then in the last week, he's been messaging you, Josh.
Well, let's not go into that.
But, here we go.
But
I showed you it, Voltaire.
Okay, that's enough. Come on now.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I left, and then I. Just simply because James basically berated me off the show.
You add it.
I said, "Yeah, I've had this. Fuck this."
Yeah.
I said, "Fuck off," like that, like Jamie did that time, and then left.
All right, come on. We just keep it. Have you been imbibing like Carlin or something?
I've not had a single drink today.
Good.
You always go to that, don't you? That Josh is an alcoholic. I mean, it's unfair, quite honestly.
He's an addict.
It's projection.
He needs to face up to it. He's an addict of Carlin, 3.5%. Well, not even that, 3.2%. 3.1%.
Is that true? It's only 3.2%. Why the hell are you drinking it? Does it taste that good? Or are you trying to cut down?
It's not 3.2. It's 4.2 or something.
Okay, so standard then.
That's bullshit.
Well, listen, we're not all like.
It's not 4.2%.
Well, what is it then? Is it 3.8? Look it up. You're the one going on about it.
Justin, can't you look it up?
Because I'm on my phone.
When he saw that
Christian.
can of Carling a couple of weeks ago, he just lost it. He wouldn't get off of it.
Absolute, yeah.
Oh, it's 3.7%.
All right.
Right. Yeah, well, there you go. You absolute, dick pole.
Mm.
With an alcohol content of 3.7%, but labelled at 4%.
Wow.
Don't know what that's supposed to
Well,
be.
what do you want him to be? One of these hipsters drinking an IPA that's like 6.7% or something like that?
No, it is 3.7.
Okay.
Do you know I can't stand IPA?
I hate
used
them.
It's probably been reduced.
Hate them. I don't understand it, and people
Well,
say
no hipsters will not even have that here.
they won't. They won't.
They wouldn't have
Oh,
the
that's
quality.
just yellow fizzy water you're drinking there. When they see you drinking like a Coors or a beer.
If
or
you're
Budweiser
if
or
you're a
something.
hipster in the UK, what English lager or whatever would you drink? I can't imagine.
Probably Moretti.
Something like that. That's obviously not English, is it?
It's Italian. Yeah, you're probably going to get like
I don't know why you have to take the piss in that manner.
what have I said now?
Moretti, that's obviously not English, is it?
But
do you really think I give a
Birra Moretti?
I've got to agree with Gary's comment here about I don't know why Davern bothers. I don't know. It might be called wanking whilst typing, I think. I mean, he'd been going on about he wants to watch me eat a hot dog for some reason.
He wants you to get into the mukbang space.
Yeah, but how many men message you saying they want to see you eat a hot dog?
He's possibly your greatest fan. I mean, be honest and give him some credit.
He's Cameron's biggest fan.
So the did you see the video of the Jussie Smollett guys reenacting the attack he paid them to do?
No.
I don't know anything about it.
Gary, who's part of the writing team here at Twin Peaks Coffee Time. He's in the writer's room. He sent it to me. You got to see this. I want to share this with you shortly here. See if you can tolerate it, James.
Devin, just calm down a bit in the chat now. He's just typing bollocks, basically.
Uh-oh. No, he's countered to Gary. Gary, I don't know why do you bother? Well, actually, Davern's Eastern European, so he'd have a much different accent.
Gary's just like a bitch fest. Can we just make normal comments?
All right.
As opposed to everybody just winding each other up.
Also, Gary, Davern, Gary's a member of the writer's room here at Twin Peaks Coffee Time. So these are the two fellas that Jussie Smollett, if you remember famously, he alleged he was attacked in Chicago at 2 a.m. on a winter night, and two fellas told him this is MAGA country, and they attacked him. Well, it turns out it was his two trainers, these fellas, and Fox News got them to go on and reenact what happened. Just you have to listen to some of this just for a bit here.
They took our beautiful bench. This is where we waited for Jussie to come before we attacked them. So we got here with 10 minutes to spare, and we had to plan our escape route to survey the land. His building is actually right here, right above the stairs that we're going to attack him at. We made sure we got there at 2 a.m. sharp.
On the dot.
On the dot. We had no phones because he did not want us to bring any phones. He said, so we don't lose them. I don't know if that's really the reason, but you can deduce your own reason. So 2 a.m., he was nowhere to be found. He was not there. So we were like, damn, what do? We didn't have no way of contacting him. He had no way of contacting us. So we waited here for about, 4 minutes?
It was about 4
minutes,
minutes, but it felt like forever.
Because it was cold as balls. So I saw him out the corner of my eye, and I was like, okay.
Okay, here, I'll listen to this
This
part.
is so boring.
No, I know. You're right. I should have fast forwarded to this part. Watch this now. So now they see him, and now they're going to Smollett wrote this script for them. Keep that in mind.
They're going to give him the business.
Hey, that's him.
It's a
Let's
shit
go.
script.
We gotta go get this Empire. Yeah, that's him. That's him. Is that him?
That's that nigga.
Standing there.
Get
Let's
that
go.
nigga.
Oh, let's move fast. Come on, let's get him.
That's
So
like
the-
Derby Security. Coming after me.
The allegation was, because remember, he's on that show Empire, and he's a gay man, was there's that.
Where's the one on the right walking like that?
He's very muscly. Maybe that's part of the problem, you know.
I think he's overdone it.
You're that. You're that.
Yeah, they
Empire.
allegedly called him a faggot nigger from Empire.
Oh,
That's what they allegedly called him.
Whoa.
And
Just get him. As we
Why are they
crossed the
putting it on air
street,
if
we
they're gonna
said,
beep it
hey,
out?
to get his attention.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, he turned around, looked at us.
Why is
And
the
that's
guy
when we started
walking that
yelling the famous slurs he wanted us to yell. Hey,
Aren't you that Empire?
hey, Empire fat Nick. It's MAGA country.
Yeah.
And then he said, what did you say to me?
Okay, anyway, that's it. I just think it's funny that they had them go out there and reenact the whole thing in public, but maybe-
also, wasn't it the attackers were allegedly white?
that's what he alleged. But he hired these two guys are his personal trainers or something like that.
So
These
why
guys are
did
about as
any
black
of this
as you
why
can
did
get.
any of this need to be staged
Not meant to
at
be.
all?
Well, he did it for attention. You know.
Yeah, no, I understand, but why didn't he just get beaten up in his hotel, in his room, and then
Why-
go out and then say, "Oh, I've just been beaten up by some white guys," or
Interesting. Maybe he was hoping people would find him on the street. That's a good point, actually. Why did he go through? I don't know. The guy's fucking nuts, obviously, to stage this whole thing. You know.
right.
Anyway.
At least
I
it's
don't think-
inventive. I mean, there's worse nuts things to do, to be honest. But I mean, it is undermining people who are genuinely attacked. So,
Nathan, I don't know if that was their imitation of walking like white people. I don't know if that was what they were doing. I think that big fella might be. He may
they're
have
walking
pumped
as
a
if
little
the
too much.
trousers were too tight on their nads.
Well, that might be the case.
One of these is actually an actor, then.
Well,
Or
no,
the
I think she's talking. Phantom Cooper, 19-year-old girl, Phantom Cooper, longtime listener, is talking about Jussie Smollett himself being an actor.
Phantom Cooper has been 19 for at least 6 years now. So.
She started off as a 16-year-old girl. Be fair,
Okay.
but yeah, she should be more.
Oh,
like
she was
21.
11 when she started watching the show, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We've pretty much been her secondary education, and I'm proud of that.
I remember one of her famous questions was, I'm trying to learn how to squirt for my boyfriend. He wants me to learn how to get into squirting.
I remember that.
You know,
It's quite romantic.
It is romantic, I think.
It's endearing, if anything. Just don't do it when your mum's in the room.
Yeah, and also, put plastic sheeting down or something.
Gary, is that true? Is there even I didn't know there was a Big Brother Nigeria. This is why
There's
Gary
Big
North
Brothers-
is
no,
up.
there's Big Brothers everywhere in any just about developing country in
that
parts
right?
of Africa. So yeah,
This is why Gary is the head writer in the Twin Peaks Coffee Time Writers.
it's about the easiest TV show to make, isn't it? You just need a house.
You
build
put a bunch of
house,
twats in a place together and have them go at it.
a bunch of himbos and bimbos in there, and a few eccentrics maybe. Just throw in a Josh, just to f everything up.
What do you mean throwing a Josh?
Well, someone who'd probably end up winning.
Oh, you think I would win Big Brother if I was in Big
A
Brother?
mild dick, but then endearing in the end, really.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I can make models. Really? Oh. The girls come around and look at his models.
Okay, this is another one suggested by head writer Gary North. Here, it's Hugh Grant acting like I imagine how James would act at the Oscars if he was ever invited.
Are a veteran of the Oscars, and you've been here a few times. What's your favorite thing about coming to the Oscars?
It's fascinating. The whole of humanity is here. It's Vanity Fair.
Oh, it's all about Vanity
Yeah.
Fair. Yes, that's where we let loose and have a little bit of fun. What are you most excited to see tonight?
To see,
Yeah, well, I know that you probably watched a few of the movies. Are you excited to see anybody win? Do you have your hopes up for anyone?
no one in particular.
Okay, well, what are you wearing tonight then?
Just my suit.
Your suit? Who
Yeah.
made your suit? You didn't make it.
I can't remember my tailor.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the tailor.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does it feel like to be in Glass Onion? It was such an amazing film. I really loved it. I love a thriller. How fun is it to shoot something like that?
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, but still, you showed up and you had fun, right?
Almost.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. Back.
All right, there we go. He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Well, he doesn't. Is he even aware that the Oscars are going on this year and that some people it's like he couldn't remember anyone who was nominated?
Well,
Like
he said it. He's going to the Vanity Fair party. That's a big party. It's a lot of fun. That's the most famous post Oscars party out there. So, and he's at it.
It doesn't mean he's definitely going to the Vanity Fair party. It just says it's a Vanity Fair,
I'm actually friends with Hugh Grant, so I feel like I can't really say anything about this.
Do you think he's actually like Bruce Willis and he's suffering dementia, so he can't actually remember any of the films that were nominated?
No, I just don't think he gives
couldn't he just say, I want to give a shout out to Brendan Fraser?
I think it's I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't think he was expecting to be interviewed.
Mm.
And then he got pulled aside. And he was like,
he should try and be a bit more aware of like where to walk, clearly it's another sign of dementia if he's just wandering around in a Dougie-like state.
Well, it's interesting. It was a bit cunty of him because he could have just said, no, I'm not feeling good. I'm not up for an interview. But why take the fucking mic and put this poor gal in this situation? Maybe he should go to Big Brother.
I mean, she was asking shit questions.
Well, what do you expect on a red carpet?
Good comment from Dan Peake. He says he was thinking how much she charges, but the thing is, Dan, she's not black and she's not on Sunset Strip. So
what?
Good point.
Wasn't it a tranny or was it just a black woman?
No.
That was Eddie Murphy. That was Eddie Murphy with the
don't talk about trans and Hugh Grant. He only likes real women and black ones. Right.
What the hell?
Yeah, he does seem rather disagreeable.
By the way, can I just bring everyone's attention to something that Phantom Cooper said earlier on about the Jesse Smollett thing?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So,
did I miss it?
Just do it, all right.
I asked the question, why did he even stage it on the street? Why didn't he just get beaten up in his house and then come out and claim that it was white men on the street? Mm-hmm. And Phantom Cooper said, well, they aren't known for their critical thinking skills.
Bloody hell.
But then I realized that before that he is an actor.
She. Forgive her, her youth.
Yeah, well, anyway, moving on. Thanks for that, Josh.
You're welcome.
I do think that, anyway, Jamie did ask, has anyone... has anyone been to see Scream 6? No. I mean, I haven't, but I don't think anyone else here has.
Thanks for that, James.
I'm just asking if anyone's seen it because Jamie talked about it.
Well, you just said you haven't. I haven't.
Why can't you go?
Voltaire hasn't, and neither has Ashton. So
you went to see you have one of the finest cinemas in the area, the Real Cinema.
Yeah, what is this event, Josh? This Kubrick event? Well, what's it all about? I couldn't understand what James was getting at when he was talking about it.
It's
Kubrick's brother-in-law?
I thought I was quite clear about it.
It is pretty clear. I mean, for Voltaire, you seem to be... I don't know why you're struggling with this concept. That
all it is they basically get a load of twats in there and say, hey, check this film out. It's called Full Metal Jacket. It's got... It's starring that actor in it,
The one from Stranger Things.
Chuck Norris.
No, it's like the first film, what are they called? Festival. It's the first film. Sorry, I have had like 11 call-ins tonight. So
okay, so that's now the truth is coming out. Earlier, you said you hadn't been drinking. Okay,
no, they did have a festival on there, but it was mainly for just manga. And Davrin was there, and he was one of the sole attendees.
We have had a porn festival because
nice.
Well, we have because Morecambe is basically.
You can't call somebody showing a DVD inside Bay Babes a porn festival.
Well, I did. I said, "Let me come to this porn festival." They said, "Yeah, all right." And I got there, and there was two people. They were both. Yeah. They both looked very much like you, and they were just.
This is when you were 10.
They were wanking in the corner. I said, "Oh, for God's sake!"
One of them looked like Davrin.
I don't know what Davrin looks
He's
like.
like,
I just know
hello, I'm from Slovenia. Can I lend a hand?
nobody knows what Davrin really looks like. I mean, apart from that picture that he's put up, but I don't think that's him because that looks not like any real person. I don't think.
Maybe one of his previous lovers or something. I think.
Yeah, or victims.
They have a look in their eye of like, oh no, I'm going to be raped.
I'm going to get murdered now. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a Morecambe Film Festival, and Jan Harlan's going to be there. So
Who?
Rennie Harlan,
Jan
director
Harlan.
of Cliffhanger.
Shut the
And,
Jan
and
Harlan.
Exorcist: The Beginning.
You're getting me really annoyed.
Rennie
now.
Harlan is actually a superior director to Kubrick.
These interjections, James, are just totally they're really rude. If
No, but
anything.
can I just say, I really appreciate that they're going to show Dr. Sleep prior to The Shining, and they're going to introduce it as possibly the better version of Spielberg's work. Sorry, not Spielberg, Stephen King.
Jesus.
Okay, now. Anyway,
I was trying to do a parody there of On Cinema sort of thing, you know. That's,
it was really funny.
as if I don't know anything about. All right, Jamie, we don't want a breakdown of the entire acts of the film. For Jesus Christ. You've ruined the whole film for us now.
Well, you weren't going to go see it anyway from the sounds of things.
I'm not exactly...
I mean, you always told her. Actually, it's ironic because one of the things you criticized Jamie for was you'd say, "Hey, did you like that?" She'd go, "Yeah, I liked it." Well, why did you like it? Well, what does that mean? You just liked it. Here, she's given a detailed account, and now you're berating her for that.
I don't think my aggressive stance helped back in the day because you can't just say to people, "Why did you like it?" But I could have been a bit more touchy-feely about that. So I feel bad. I do feel bad about that.
Okay, good. Sure,
Well, interesting.
Oh, no.
All right. Josh, did you do any heavy day drinking on St. Patrick's Day this past couple of days?
No. Which day was St. Patrick's Day? Was it
the 17th?
Friday?
Yeah.
No, I did on last night though on Saturday.
Okay.
Got down to some heavy drinking last night. Went to the pub.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a band. The band were actually really, really very good. Actually, got.
Oh, really?
There was a couple of women at one point, older, scally type women, and I was stood. And I was stood. I went to my girlfriend was stood at the bench outside, and I went, right, just look after my drink and go to the toilet. I went to the toilet and then came back. These girls were there, these women, and my girlfriend was on the phone, so she wandered off, and I took my drink and stood there, and they were stood sort of around us, and one of them was just going, you fucking like that, just making noise.
To you?
Well, then, not to me, but around me, and they were talking. They were like, it was sort of noise-based calls to each other. And then at one point, one of them turned and looked at me and went, "Who the fuck is that?" So,
you? They were asking you who you are?
At me, and then our other two friends were like, "Hey, no," like trying to calm her down.
So they were like psychotic Liverpudlians.
and then I went inside, and I was stood talking to some guy who I don't really know, and then at one point, a woman's foot was like between my thighs, like up my.
Wait a second. When they asked you who the fuck are you, did you not respond?
I was taking a sip of it. I was drinking at the time.
They must have recognised you. You must have remembered. Sorry, they must have thought you looked somebody like.
I think she was. I think they
had a mild stroke. Sorry.
I think they thought that I was trying to come on to all three of them at once or something, and she was getting angry, and I was.
Well, you were eye fucking them. It sounds.
I had no interest in any.
You were coming onto them by just standing near them.
Yeah,
I don't understand why your girlfriend was nowhere near you.
She was on the phone. She wandered off on the phone because it was loud.
So you didn't go with your girlfriend. You just lingered around.
What's he supposed to follow her around while she's having a private call?
No, but kind of at least go and look after her.
Look after her?
She's only 4'8".
Go and look after her.
Yeah.
She's my girlfriend. She's not my
I
daughter.
don't mean look after it in a kind of, silly way. I just mean sort of like,
You sound really silly right now.
What kind
Oh,
of places
come
do you
on.
think he's taking her?
I'm not trying to
kinda
be silly now.
Rough places is he taking her?
Well, it is a bit rough in Lancaster.
It is. I'd love Voltaire to
By
come
the
out.
sounds of it, some scally women, one of them went, "Who the fuck's that there?"
Yeah, that's exactly what
Doesn't
she
sound
said.
exactly normal to me.
Who the fuck is that? That's what she said.
We should have flashbacks or something.
And
Yeah,
a
I'd like
friend,
to take in the nightlife there and see what's doing.
it's beautiful. And then a friend was like, "No, calm down, come on. No, we're not having any of that." I think she was about ready to start a fight with me. She would. I mean, this woman was like literally 5 foot tall, and
So she had
Rough
a lot
around the
of
edges.
lace
very,
around that.
very, very slim. Anyway, I went inside, and then a foot was up like between on my penis at one point, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And I realized that I had basically stood in the way of like a woman who was sat there with her legs crossed, and her boot was like up my arse, basically.
Oh.
And then I said, "Whoa, whoa," and she said, "Sorry, but I was sat here." And I said, "Well, I'm going to
It
take that."
sounds like everybody was like out of their school.
Well, I'm trying to
that-
figure this out. She was sitting at a table across from you, and she put her...
No. So like, it's awkward to explain. She was sat on a stool, on a bar stool, but the stool, the pub is positioned in such a way that that's close to where everyone would be standing watching the band. So
Right.
I obviously moved a bit too far back, and this stool was sat facing outwards, and her foot was
Up your ass from
up
behind.
my
I
ass.
see.
Yeah.
What kind of band was it then?
They were a band that plays musical instruments.
God, for God's sake!
Ah.
Well, like Oasis then.
No, there was no Oasis. It was all like they actually did Def Leppard at one point.
Oh Jesus! That's
They
great.
did fucking
What, put some sugar on it.
no Animal.
Oof! I would have walked out.
They did Animal. They did Velvet Revolver. They did
That kind of band playing just tells you everything about Lancaster.
No, they're just a cover band. They
it was a
play
covers
the-
band. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
cover band.
Well,
What
a
else
cover
did they-
band can be fun now and again.
Oh, they did do Muse, and I started booing them.
Did you really?
Yeah, I said
That's really mature, Josh.
it was.
Well, it sounds
mature.
like it's par for the course for this club. It sounds like the bar in Roadhouse where they're throwing bottles at the people he's behind a fucking fence.
There was this one blonde woman. There was a blonde woman who was on. She must have been on. She was on some other planet. She was on something, and she was gurning her fucking head off. And she was all over this fella. And I pulled the fella to one side. And was like, "What the fuck's wrong with her?"
Mm.
And he said, "Oh, she's a friend from work. She's a nightmare. Do you want her?" Like, as in, like, can I? Because I want to go home. So can I leave her with you? And I was like, "Fucking no."
How'd she look?
You'd have loved it, Voltaire. You'd have loved it.
Ah. Okay, so she's attractive.
Not to me. She was very sort
Whoa.
of like. She looks kind of a bit bimbo-y, but also kind of frightening.
With the spray tan that a lot of the English women use nowadays.
It wasn't. I don't think she did have spray tan. Actually, she was just very. She was of that kind of ilk.
Mhm.
Trying to think what else happened that night.
And she
I'm
was
trying to
high
think-
on fentanyl. So just for Americans to understand now, my understanding of the way that the British nightlife works is that the bars there's a wide age range in the bars, isn't there?
Yes.
Right. That's not typical for out here. You know,
It,
So there-
yeah.
you'll get people who are like, what's the drinking age over there? 19. So anywhere between 19 to middle-aged people in their late 30s, 40s.
18 is the legal drinking age. So you'll get usually younger girls and older men usually.
Show us your shoulder, love.
Yeah, get your fucking shoulder out like that, and or it'd be a bit like Finchy from The Office, like while you're down there bending over. But yeah, no, it's usually like that is the good thing about the UK actually, is that when you go out, the age range is wide in nightlife, so that's kind of fun, really.
That's how it is in Vegas, and it is fun. Yeah,
It is fun, yeah. So what is it like in America then? Everyone just basically, this is a bar for 26 plus.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a bar for 30-year-olds.
There's certain bars where, like, you know, if you're over 30 and you go into them, you're going to feel like an asshole. You know what I mean? But again, I'm speaking to just California and that kind of thing. In Vegas, it's not like that at all. It's all comers, so to speak. It's more like what you're talking about, but it's not like that here. And then there's bars where more mature people hang out with, and there's some bars where like are known for having older, you know, middle-aged women and young men go there just to try to, you know, pick up
nice,
easy, mature women. You know.
Oh yeah.
The theory being that those women are, you know,
that's where me and James would be at.
Have less discretion.
Me and James would be in there. We'd be like, it'd be like 40-year-old virgin, where like using your peripherals and that kind of shit.
And then in Southern California, there's certain bars where you go and it'll be more of a Latin flavor. So if you're not, you know, of Latin descent and you go in there, the men will be pretty upset at you. And same with other things. So there is those kinds of bars too.
This is the problem with it.
You guys have that too. I'm sure you guys have like, you know, hey, that's a Nigerian bar. That's a, you know, Jamaican club. No, none of that, eh?
No,
that happens out here. You know?
It might happen in London, but you wouldn't be like scowled out of the place, and it wouldn't be like in like Wild Hogs when they go into that bar, and it's just for bikers, and they're like, "Get out of here!"
No, none of you can leave.
Yeah, there's none of that. It's just like, no, I mean that's very segregated. I'm very disappointed in that news that you just told me, because that's not very land of the free, home of the brave. I don't think that's very.
It's just how it goes. So, are you disappointed that James has just blocked Millie of all people? He's just timed her out in chat.
This is just my stuff. You don't have to take attention towards this. This has got nothing to do with it.
Josh needs to know these things. I mean, come on.
No, why would you do that?
Don't know. Maybe I'm just not a very nice person.
Well, that sounds about right.
Maybe I kind of don't like being called a bipolar fuck, and then my mum's a whore, and then other
She
people
didn't say. Millie wouldn't say something like that.
No, but she's supporting it.
Mm.
I know that Millie doesn't really like me though, because she's scared of my intelligence. So.
Everybody loves Millie. Millie is a very lovely lady. She's friendly to everybody. Hey, hello, Tim. Welcome. He says English bars reek of desperation. They do.
Millie is a great, great talent.
Well, she is
more than John. More than Josh.
More than John. Who's John?
Fucked it.
No, she's more talented than Josh. I will say.
I would probably agree with that.
Creatively speaking, because I mean, Josh doesn't make dolls.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't do that. That's true. What was I going to say? Yeah, so it's always a fun night when you go out, and then you've just drawn my attention to something that is good about the UK is the age range of people.
Yeah, that is nice, actually.
I've never thought about that before, but yeah, you can go into a pub and it'd be like, so like last night, we went into this pub. It's very small. It's like if I say the word pub to you, it's immediately what an American would think is a pub. Like, that's what it looks like stone walls and like old. And we were in there, and it was mainly like, I'd say ages between 25 to 45. And then at one point, this young girl came in, and she was wearing like one of those short fur coats. She had
nice,
the lip injections, lip fillers. She had
go on.
She had like really, really too tight jeans on, fake tan, like bleach blonde hair, and but the thing is, it was cold last night, and she was wearing flip flops.
I was going to ask you, was she wearing heels or was she wearing boots?
She's wearing flip flops.
Flip flops.
She comes in on the phone. She's got like really big fake nails on, and she like rushes into the bathroom, and then we're like, right, she's definitely going in there to do something. And then she comes out and she stands right behind me at the bar. And I'm like, I thought she was trying to walk past me, and she just sort of was stood there and I was like, oh, it's a bit weird, like right behind me, and then all of a sudden I can hear her on a phone going, yeah, I've not got any. Have you got any? You've not got any coke? Oh, fucking hell. Like that on the phone in the pub. And I just thought, this is like, this is why I come out. Like, these are the kind of people I want to hang around with.
You want to mix with the people.
I am a people person. And it also made me think, I wish that James was here, because James would really thrive in this environment, I think. Yeah.
I think so too, actually.
Well, no, I have thrived most in the kind of pub that is like the collection of different ages that you had in the film Dead Man's Shoes, with a few females thrown in there as well.
Yeah.
And it just reeks of the feeling of not just desperation, but like poverty and illness and violence as well. I've been in places like that, yeah, and but yeah, Lancaster is a beautiful place, and I won't have any bad words said about it. So Can we let anybody talk about anything they've done all week in terms of films and etc.?
Well, look at this comment from Tim. He saw, last night I saw a beta male. That's how you people say beta. I saw a beta male cry when the young lady he had been dancing off went off with one of the doormen. What a thing to happen. Yeah, that is sad. That is sad, Tim.
That happens every night.
It does.
Fair enough. Well,
yeah, I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. Finally.
Oh, did you finally see it? Okay, I haven't seen that yet. I keep meaning to.
And I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it.
So you don't think it was Best Picture material?
No, it's very strange. I understand. I get it. Especially I think the last half an hour is the strongest part of the film. Which is it gradually gets better, but it's not. It doesn't immediately grab you, I don't think. And it's incredibly this is the strangest like Oscar winning film I think I've ever seen. But then I'm very naive, so I would say that. But
well, Shape of Water, didn't that win a couple of years ago? That was pretty fucked up. It wasn't
yeah, I suppose so, maybe.
But I've not seen this film, so I can't comment. It looks like a superhero film, to be honest.
It's not a superhero film.
James is all hot and bothered because there's one little flash scene of the Red Room when she's, I guess, traveling dimensions or something like that.
Is that right?
Somebody in one of these Facebook groups froze it on that portion, and that got James excited about it.
There's a very
I was really like, going crazy when I saw that. Started punching the air even. I actually wrote to Richard Taylor and sent him that and said, "Looks like season 4's here," and he just responded with "fuck off."
That's not very nice of him.
I don't know what's wrong with him. Sometimes he's got to be in his bonnet. I said to him, "Richard, what's wrong?"
Maybe you were getting confused with evil Richard Taylor.
Oh, he went evil that day, I think. Yeah. Well, yeah, I've watched the first half an hour of it, and I think it apparently does improve.
Yes, it does.
Sorry, did you say you've watched the first half hour?
This is how James basically watches things. He'll watch like the first 10 minutes, and then like he'll hear a buzzing next door and get angry and like pause the film and go outside and be like, "What the fucking hell's going on out here?" And then like start banging on all his neighbors' doors, and then he'll come back in and forget what he was doing, and then he'll make a coffee, and then he'll go out to the shops, and then he comes back, and then maybe 2 weeks later he watches the rest of the film.
Is that what happened, James?
Not really.
All right. But why'd you only watch the first half hour? Then you just got fed up with it?
Just didn't find it very appealing in terms of the characters and just the way everything was happening, settings and stuff. Nobody in it was very likable. The main woman, she's working in a laundrette, a laundry service and everything, and it's hardworking Japanese or Chinese, I suppose, but Yeah, I mean, I think it improves after that to a certain point. Then it goes to an office scene for some reason. It all just seemed a bit.
For some reason.
Well, they obviously had some complaint or some.
It's an audit. They're having an audit.
Right, yeah. And then there's Jamie Lee Curtis in it. But, I mean, I imagine the film improves after
Jamie Lee
point,
Curtis
but-
wearing a fat suit.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I didn't notice that. I think that's how she looks.
That is not Jamie Lee Curtis's belly, I don't think.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. That might, apart from that, yeah. But I think the rest of it is pretty much how she looks. So
Yeah, she does. She's not wearing a bra in this film.
Nice.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, would you say the film improves after the first half hour, though?
I think the last half an hour of the film is the best bit, but you need the first 2 hours to get to that really to for it to be effective.
And what about Short Round or whatever his name is? He won an Oscar for his role in it. You know, the Dr. Jones. Was
Ashton,
Yeah, he's he. I will say
saying
he
in
is
the
actually
chat
very.
they heard actually they hated it. Strong word.
Who said that?
I mean, my problem with it is
Ashton's grandparents.
I would have preferred to have hated
Right.
it. I just felt indifferent. That's it. And it just didn't have any atmosphere to it. It seemed rather a bit dull somehow. Does that change after the first half hour?
Can we just get to talking about this first half hour, please?
I would say that
I know you've had 10 cans of Carlin, but turn that bloody fan off now immediately.
but other than that, it's the first half an hour is not too bad.
Once. All I'm asking for you is to be sensible, all right? Don't know what that was. Sorry about that. Any
was that,
other
was
thoughts?
that on another? Was that open on another window of your computer then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your other thoughts on the other 2 hours of the film after the first half hour?
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
Now you've made it too short. You
didn't get it right.
Last time you had it
How
too
was
long.
it? Oh,
There, you don't need that last bit.
Nice.
good,
Oh, good for you.
you. And how
Stop.
was it? Oh,
Do it again.
Come on.
good for you. And
There you go.
No,
You did
No,
it.
you didn't do it. You didn't do it right again.
Come on, Josh. Just tell us more about the film, will you?
We'll stop playing, angry Christian Bale over me, and I might do. Mm.
Well, that was a noise you heard a lot when you were in the pub on Saturday night, wasn't it?
It was actually. Yeah.
Well, you're down there, love. You should
Yeah.
have said that. You should have said that to one of the that 5 foot Larry Scally.
Actually,
Bet
might
she
like
would-
that.
I bet she was a friend of Sean's.
Don't bring Sean into this. I purposefully avoided bringing Sean's name up. And
Who the fuck's that? Just
Well,
sounds
you've
like
gone
a
and
scene
done it
out of a cut scene from Fire Walk with Me or something. Did you think that you were actually a father? Maybe.
no, I was younger than her.
Maybe you were having her since the age of 12.
Oh boy.
Bloody hell.
Well, I don't know, because you do look quite old with the beard, and I think I just want to say this as a sort of a warning for you. If you carry on with your 10 Carlings a day,
Go on.
Who's someone's coughing there? In 10 years' time, you probably look like you're 65. Okay?
What was that noise just then?
No, I could hear someone coughing in the background.
I think it was Voltaire.
It was not.
Ooh.
Well,
That's the sound of a computer crashing. Get it? Oh.
Mm.
So how was Wild Strawberries then? That's Ingmar Bergman, isn't it? I think a classic. Davrin's telling us about things he's watched that are shit. Oh,
It sounds about right.
Mandalorian's okay, Gary North. It's just okay. You know?
it's got the same actor as in Last of Us.
Yes, Pedro Pascal.
He's doing a lot of work.
He is because of the Mandalorian. He's always, and you
No,
pointed it
because
out
of
after
because of
watching
Last of Us.
Last of Us. He's very like subdued, he's like really low energy in these things. But we were introduced to Pedro Pascal, most of us, by his role in Game of Thrones, where he was a very high energy type of character, and he's really good in Game of Thrones. And that really is what I think got him in the spotlight. I
will say for The Last of Us, it does have a. Even though that show I don't think is exactly great on realism, like his persona is believable.
Thanks for that.
And she's supposed to be, a contrast, isn't she? So I think it works quite well. But
yeah, it's
I've
just
got
just like any other zombie show,
I'm only I've got the last 2 episodes. It's like every episode is basically just its separate story. Often, like the one where they were just in the buildings and stuff with those 2 black young people, the lad and the younger one. That was a boring episode. I hate to use the word boring, but it really was. It was just filler. And it's basically they go through every episode. Everyone else in the series, in the episode, anyone else in the series episode, is dead apart from them 2. That's it. He lives, she lives, everyone else dead.
No,
I didn't know.
True.
Yeah, they have different.
His brother's not dead.
All right then, yeah, but his brother's got like a kind of guest appearance.
All right then, yeah. It's...
Oh, that was yeah. So that's it. That's very much like, and I didn't know Pedro Pascal was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't watch that show, but it turns into just like Walking Dead. They're walking around. Oh shit, the zombies are out. Oh boy, here's this group of humans. They're gonna fuck us over now. We got to fight them. And Pedro Pascal's kicking a lot of ass in it. And I mean, I'm just surprised people are so very enamored with it. But people were enamored with The Walking Dead. I mean, The Walking Dead did better numbers than Breaking Bad, if you can believe it. So people like the zombie shit.
Yeah, not afterwards though.
No. And yes, Phantom Cooper, I'm excited for Ahsoka too. I think that will be a really interesting show. And I have hope for Mandalorian because some of the scenes they've shown in the previews are cut scenes back to Order 66, and maybe we'll get some hot Jedi action, which is what these shows need. Josh, have you watched The Mandalorian at all? Or are you done?
No, yeah, I'm still watching it. Yeah, I've not watched the most recent episode, but I'm watching it.
And how did you feel about Andor? Did you love it?
I did like Andor, yeah.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah, I thought Andor was great. And I do like. I am a fan of the Bad Batch, actually.
Yeah, I find it a bit childish, but I'm trying to.
Is that because it's a cartoon?
No, some of the animated stuff is really good. I liked Rebels; was really good.
Rebels is great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rebels is the same. Rebels can be.
Yeah, it has its episodes. I don't know what it is about those. You know what? I think it's just the kooky the way that they've got them all like an A-team type of thing, and each one has a stupid personality. I can't stand the kooky voices and shit. And like the big dumb one is very angering to me. And then even they got the girl from Carla from Cheers playing that bar owner with that voice, and just like
yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to try to power through it because and I don't like the little girl Omega.
She gets a lot better, I think. Omega gets. How far in have you watched it?
I've watched the first season.
Yeah, I think Omega gets
third episode of the second season.
I know what you mean. I just think that Star Wars seems to upset people. You know, any child character is immediately hated in Star Wars.
Well, that's a valid point. Ahsoka initially introduced was terrible.
Yeah,
and they really improved her to be one of the best characters created. Quite honestly,
yeah.
And I really am looking forward to seeing. And the bit of live action Ahsoka we got was excellent. So I'm really looking forward to that.
The idea of Omega is interesting to me. Anyway,
I don't know why you've decided to put your mic on so high today, Voltaire.
Is that right?
Seems you put it on the max.
I think your headphones are at the max.
No, it's your. You've got your mic.
I think you're James. You're pushing me to the max tonight. I tell you.
Indeed.
Only in a good way.
Always.
I'm bringing intellectual, power to you.
You're bringing it.
After 10 cans of Carling. Just to bring in, not related to anything you've just discussed, can I ask if either of you, or Ashton even, who's now silent and unable to speak, well, she can do things with her hands, I suppose, but have any of you lot seen the film Brothers with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Is that Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly?
I love that movie. That's a brilliant film. Tremendous rewatchability.
Can we just talk about what I want to talk about for once?
I think
Brothers.
John C. Reilly is actually really, really funny. Like,
no, can we not talk about that?
He's
Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal. One of them comes back from the war in Afghanistan, and it's also Natalie Portman. It was made over 10 years ago, so no one's seen it.
The bit when Will Ferrell plays his drums is just.
That's a different film, Step Brothers, not Brothers.
Oh. No, I'm not familiar with this.
I just watched another Tobey Maguire film, though, as well. Wonder Boys, with that's got Michael Douglas in it. I quite enjoyed that. I mean, I enjoyed both Brothers and Wonder Boys. They're interesting.
Or you want a Tobey Maguire fan?
I was a bit, yes. I was thinking, is he underrated, or is he should he have had a better Hollywood career, or
Hollywood?
I mean, well, it's funny because he's in Babylon. He's gone into doing a lot of producing nowadays, it seems. But yeah, that's one that, of course, Mandela Man has recommended to me. Babylon.
I think that Richard Jenkins is really underrated in that film as the dad. I mean,
we're not talking about Step Brothers anymore now.
He's a good actor. He's underrated in general, truthfully.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Will you stop being a bipolar fuck?
Uh-oh.
I mean, since I got that thrown at me, I'm going to throw it to everyone else. All right.
Easy.
It only makes sense.
No.
Did you see Tobey Maguire in the recent Spider-Man film where he comes back?
Of course,
from another...
yeah.
He was good in that. I thought both him and Andrew Garfield outshined. What's his name?
Just the same as they were in the
Spider-Man
previous films where they were out that.
Well, it just made you realize that both of them were better as Peter Parker than what's his name, Tom Holland.
Yeah, but the thing they've done with Tom, what's his name?
Tom Hollandaise.
He's Tom Holland or whatever. He's he's basically the Disneyfication of Marvel. To make it suitable for 9-year-olds or younger.
They try to make him more the high school kid, that kind of thing.
It's like a baby
Well,
Spider-Man.
he was a high school. Spider-Man is a high school kid.
He was. That's the original story. Tobey Maguire was in high school too in the original.
Yeah, but Tobey Maguire
were actually older, weren't they?
He looked 28.
I really like the Tobey Maguire.
He's the best. He's the best.
He looks specifically 28.
But he does. But he is supposed to be in high school, and they all look like they're about to buy their first homes.
So I grew
Well, yeah,
up.
the actor
reading-
was 28. I think you're
Yeah.
right.
I grew up reading Spider-Man comics, and when I saw the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, the first two, I was like, "Oh, they've done it. They've brought the comics to life," and he nailed it, nailed it. And yes,
All right.
Mike D, I saw House of Dragon. It was
hell.
fantastic.
Yeah,
It was so
Ashton's
fantastic.
nailed it
I've
on
gone
the head.
back and read the book.
She's saying also they've got Tom Hollandaise in it because he appeals to grandmas.
Okay, he is
They're
cute.
like they're running out to the cinema there with their Zimmer frames and on mobility scooters, or just walking because some can still walk at that age, believe it or not. And,
But I do.
They're going.
I don't
They're all in
I
the
don't
front
believe
row,
that at all.
basically wanking themselves silly over it.
Easy.
I don't believe that.
Sorry, Walter. That was only a joke.
Josh, did you like House of Dragon? Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I've not watched any of that.
Fucking hell.
Can we
It's
stop
really good.
going back to these bloody series all the time when we're talking about films?
Well, I mean, Mike, a loyal viewer, has asked my opinion on it, and I highly recommend it. I liked it so much, I went back and read the books because I don't want to wait.
Can I just
Find
say
out what
something
happens.
about my appearance on this show right now? Okay,
Go ahead.
James, like, you should be way more grateful about me being here
Uh-oh.
right now than
Oh,
you're-
boy.
You know, you're not.
I am actually grateful. I'm just not showing.
But you
it.
keep having a go about what we're talking about, and instead of just letting the conversation flow, you always want to.
Okay, I'm letting
Just-
it flow. Okay, that was my
Look
5
at Josh. He
minutes
started
long
a
ago.
whole thing about Richard Jenkins' work here. That's great. Yes, he was good in 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, but
as well.
bear in mind, I wasn't even talking about Step Brothers. I was talking about Brothers.
I think
It's
that
an overlooked masterpiece.
I understand that this is your show and that you do pay for this for us.
He does. He does.
Yeah, bear in mind, I pay about £4.75 per week for this.
Why hasn't
That-
this channel become monetized? Why can't you get super chats?
Because you need like 1,000.
I think you need 1,000 subscribers.
subscribers.
But
What's your subscriber count at? I haven't even
It's like
checked.
it's like
the
600.
idea
or
of me
something.
doing super chats would be absurd, wouldn't it?
700. You're at 700. But, hey, you never know. You could get... I bet you wouldn't be able to time out Davern if he super chatted you. That's for fucking sure. That would be
Davern wouldn't
really
do
out of
so- I tell
line.
you, I can say for certain that Davern would not want to pay for super chat.
You
And I
don't know
I don't blame him. But
Mhm.
I just think, James, you should be more appreciative that I'm here.
No.
you've already said it now, okay?
No, I'm just saying that
Then
you.
need to
I know
keep
you.
hammering it home to make me feel like shit.
If anything, his appearance has actually seemed to have put you into like some kind of anger fit or some kind of
Yeah.
No,
like,
I'm more appreciative of Ashton and how much she's contributed tonight than you are. You have, just to be honest. She's really giving it large.
This is
whereas
what this is.
you're just
this
giving
is.
you're just giving bullshit.
Yeah, but this is you all over, James. Like
Telling
this
us
is-
random stuff about you being accosted in Lancaster Town Centre by Scallies.
yeah, this is the sort of stuff that sells on this channel. Like that, people
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, there were 21 people watching. To be
Remember
honest,
the
at that
time
point.
Josh told the story? He was at the taxi stand and he almost headbutted a fella. People love that kind of thing.
Forgot about that.
Or the time where the guy was during COVID at the bar with Josh and he goes, "What's this? Auschwitz?" Or
No, we sat down. That was my friend. We got herded to a table and told we could only have 5 people at a table, and there was 6
Sounds
of
like
us.
a friend of Gary Lineker. English people going
Well,
around
there was 6
comparing
of us, and
everything to
we
Nazi
could only have
Germany.
5 people at a table, and he was like, "Oh God!" I could see him getting just seething, and we had to wear our masks and stuff. And then he just goes, "Oh God, bloody hell!" We're outside. We're surrounded by like drunk people. We don't know who's hearing him, and he just turns around and goes, "Oh God, fucking hell!" It's like fucking Auschwitz, this, isn't it?
It's definitely comparable to being in a concentration camp.
right.
A lot of drunk
Lockdown
people
procedures in
wandering around.
Morecambe, very much like, what the Jews went through,
Yeah, I think he was kind of meaning more like being in prison. But that's actually more realistic because many people describe Lancaster as not actually an open prison, but a closed one.
Mm.
Because there are, like the castle walls and stuff to keep the drunks in. So, and I remember when I was up, on the castle, those walls, I tried scaling them to get away from Vin.
What's Gary North referring to with the Chinese incident?
That's a good question. Actually, I don't remember that.
I don't know what the Chinese incident is.
Did you have a? Oh, didn't you order Chinese food at a fucking? You were at a
Yeah,
pub
yeah.
and one of your
Oh,
friends
yeah,
ordered
that's-
Chinese food.
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is another thing that does not happen in America. You don't go to a bar and then have DoorDash deliver fucking Chinese food to you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That like we were so pissed, like really drunk, and it was about 7:00, and we were really hungry because we hadn't eaten anything, and we said, "Oh, let's just
Oh,
get
really?
Chinese."
That's why you needed something to eat, was it?
So we just got
That's
we ordered the Chinese to like the street. We didn't order it to the pub. We ordered it to the street, and we flagged down the car, stopped, and said, "Is it under this name?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we just bought the food off him, and then we took it in the pub.
Really? That's mad.
Your sarcasm is really
You're
really
mad in
laying
the
it
head,
on
you
thick.
are.
And then
If I was the taxi driver, I would have just thrown it all down on the curb
why would you have done that?
just because I'd seen your face.
Taxi driver.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There was no taxi involved.
I thought you said taxi driver. I thought that Robert De Niro pulled up at the curb with your Chinese. Instead of you looking at me.
Yeah, that's good.
Who's that? So anyway, we were completely drunk at 7 p.m. You drank, you ate the food. You were obviously still drinking in the pub. Nobody in the pub said, "Would you mind not eating your takeaway in our pub?"
Oh, I can't really remember. I can't remember it. I do remember that we ended up basically at this pub that was because this is during COVID as well. We ended up
this was during COVID. You having a laugh?
We ended up in a pub where it was table service only, of course.
Oh yeah.
And two of us were more drunk than the other two, and the two that were more
drunk than the other two.
Ended up ordering
What?
like 2 bottles of red wine or something, and then when the bill came,
You ordered 2 bottles of red wine.
yeah, I'm not sure why.
Oh,
I didn't
come
order
on.
that. I didn't
You must
order
have
that.
been out off your fucking face.
It wasn't me. I didn't order it, James.
Yeah, but you were drinking it, I bet.
No, I didn't. I don't like red wine really anymore.
After a terrible incident.
It can give you an upset stomach.
You can't just sit and drink that
cause
all night.
bilious attacks.
Yeah.
What happened exactly?
Well, I'm not willing to go into that.
Is that where you vomited all over the curtains?
Yeah.
I did that.
Well, no, I did it.
No, I did it when I was in Harrow in London.
No, I remember when you
And
went
I was
to
holding
London.
my hand over my mouth and it was coming out from between the fingers all over the curtains.
Yeah. Why were you facing the curtains?
It was better than doing it all over the bed, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then it went on the bed as well as the curtains.
I was thinking I was in a hotel the other day, and it reminded me of when you were in a hotel in Ipswich, and there was a woman throwing spoons around next door.
Poor woman doing her job, cleaning up, trying to make a living.
She was a black woman.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
I went downstairs to complain about it, and then she stood behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did
I
you
said,
say, I've been to Zambia,
I said, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, racially attack you. I have been to Zambia, but your spoon throwing was out of control. And you know what? I was actually trying to get a bit of sleep up there, and all I could hear was just someone throwing spoons into a box at great velocity. What's that all about? And she said, I cannot speak much English, but I'm very sorry, sir. And I said, do you think I really give a fuck? And at the hotel, they said, okay, Lucinda, you're sacked. Get out of here. And I said, mission accomplished.
I think the first way is what you actually did say.
Yeah, you fucked it at the end.
Accomplished. That trip to Ipswich really provided for a lot of entertainment. Besides that meltdown, he gets on live stream with his bollocks hanging out.
No, I just leapt backwards onto the bed in
Leapt backwards
celebration.
onto the bed and his bollocks fell out.
Maybe some of my actual penis as well.
I said it was penis, and you denied that vehemently.
Well, it was very flaccid, I will say.
Mm.
But I just want to make sure that's. But I was celebrating the fact that I had both a shower and a bath right next to each other. It was pretty nice.
Somebody's
pretty nice
doing well.
Well, it was pretty
think
good, and I was like, but I think I became a bit overwhelmed by it all, especially being there on my own. I was like, I'm here on my own in a hotel in Ipswich, and I'm here for doing this for you guys, okay?
I'm on my own. I'm in a hotel.
I'm going to see Kevin's band. And then all I do is come on here and
I actually like
like,
as a person.
Let's face it, he's a toxic person, though.
No, let's face it, Josh is a toxic person.
No, that's what somebody typed in the chat, and I was merely repeating that. So
That's not true.
I was.
What was it? What was it you were saying? You said something over and over and over again.
Red rum?
No.
That's just being a dick.
Mocking
came
it.
from there. Yeah.
Mocking it. You know, he just repeats it over and over and over and over again. No, I don't like it.
Again. It's over and over.
It's also where I'm quite a shy person came from.
Yes. I'm quite a shy person.
You went. I remember that time when I was accusing you of something on a video, and then I went into it.
Yeah.
Into it. Well, that's all right then. Into it. Now, when anyone ever says "into it" in any TV drama or anything here,
it immediately takes you back to that.
You know, it's funny. I never noticed it before watching English things, but now it seems to be quite common.
Into it.
I guess
there's not a lot of compression of language or whatever you might call it in this, where it becomes almost indecipherable in some accents as well. So
yes. Yeah, there's a lot of
it's laziness, isn't it? Partly, but
it's like shorthand, sort of. It's and it differs from you can travel 10 minutes down the road and it's different.
It's not not laziness is the wrong thing to say. I mean, it's what you're familiar with.
Yeah,
like if you went going down into to Eton College and you were going around going, "It's it." I don't know if it'd go down that way.
If we went to Eton and we were walking around going, "Oh, that's all right, isn't it?" They'd probably be like, you know,
Jacob Rees-Mogg would come up and go, "Oh, what do you mean by saying isn't it?"
Yeah, maybe. And then
though people like that, they live in their own kind of bubble of like.
I'd pull him down by the tie and just go, "You shut the fuck up," like that.
You cunt. Yeah.
You cunt. Yeah. Just turn into Paddy Considine in Dead Man's Shoes.
You look a bit like Paddy Considine now.
What, with the beard?
Yeah.
What are you doing with your hair then? You're growing it long?
Not doing
like,
anything. I just
like a young Bon Jovi.
I've just got some lines put in it.
Yeah. Who plays his brother in that film?
Toby Kebbell.
Toby Kebbell, that's right. He's very good.
Yeah, he's been in quite a lot of stuff actually. But...
He played the bad ape in Planet of the Apes.
Mm.
And he was in one of the better Black Mirror episodes.
Correct, yeah.
Entire History of You.
Well, they've got something in the eyes, haven't they?
Yes, yeah.
So I did try to watch that Smile film, which is on Amazon Prime in America, and I think it was a load of shit. I couldn't get through it. FYI.
I think we're all becoming like too cynical towards films and things. But
Did you try to watch that film, Smile?
no, I think it's probably true what you're saying, and for sure, I trust you. But it's just a case of I do trust you. Can I just say that?
That's very kind of you to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of these popular, not comedy, but horror films now, so-called, are just a bit tame.
It was just jump scare stupidity. It was just nothing intelligent about it. You know what I mean? Like Black Phone was actually a nice movie. Like it had it wasn't a nice movie. It had a good story to it at least.
It was okay for what it is. It's nothing remarkable, but it's quite good.
Smile to be just.
Did you watch fucking oh god, what's it called?
Did you watch fucking?
Is it called Not Abomination?
Annihilation?
No. The horror film that came out recently with the guy from It.
Sarsgaard.
Yeah.
Barbarian?
Barbarian, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right. He's oddly in it, though.
Yeah.
No, the trailer makes you think he's a big part of it, but yeah, he plays a very funny.
Yeah, that was a film that pissed me off a bit because perhaps if it decided which of the three films it was going to be, the three parts in a way, but
I think that's kind of the point. I think that was the point. It starts off like an actual horror film, and then the middle is like a comedy, and then the third half is like a parody.
Right, but what's the point of that if it's supposed to be? If it's actually supposed to be scary,
It's interesting, James. You make a good point because it almost is like 3 vignettes of like some kind of anthology series. It could have been their own thing, all of them. And the most interesting storyline.
The last part is supposed to be a parody entirely.
Well, come on. They had the whole thing with the guy being like a jerk Me Too guy and that kind of thing, and then he sort of sacrifices the girl for his own safety at the end.
And then she bursts through the wall and like kills that guy.
I mean, it's almost like a parody. I mean, the most interesting part was the flashback part, which I think they could have,
James got really angry at that because it was filmed in like a 4:3 aspect ratio, and he was like, "What the fucking hell?
I don't like that.
Why am I looking at this shit?" That's what he said.
That made no sense. That was the point when you just think these filmmakers don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just making it up as they go along, and it's like it's depressing to think that there are these indie Hollywood people, and they just do it because they think that's the cool look. There was no necessity for it to be in 4:3 ratio all of a sudden. It didn't suddenly make it seem like it was set in 1970 or whenever.
It wasn't. It was supposed to be the 80s.
Well, that's even more ridiculous.
Why?
Okay, so what are they trying to say? This is actually the way we're filming it now is akin to a TV sitcom from the 80s.
No, I totally disagree with that, James. I think that you're wrong.
Oh boy.
Or okay, then is it like a TV movie from the 80s? It's just the 4:3 ratio thing. It just seemed stamped on there, like okay,
I think
because it's cool. It's a bunch of hipster twats sipping Pabst Blue Ribbon, going, "Oh yeah, 4:3 ratio, into it." It's just
no. I think it was very good. I think it was really artistically.
No, it wasn't. Though. That's the thing.
It was good. It was really good. I thought.
Yeah, I know when you're trying to make it into a joke, but
no, I'm not trying to make it.
I think artistically, the show Barbarian, it did feel reasonably well done. Yeah, but I don't think there was enough thought gone into it. It was just
I don't think you're putting enough thought into it to get out what it was all about.
Well, okay, so the ending part where someone always runs to the edge of town and there's like a dilapidated industrial unit that someone has to scale, then someone inevitably has to go flying off it to their death or not. I mean, that was like
or not.
Is that okay? This is just deliberate anticlimax then? Is this deliberately crap ending? Like they're all hipsters going, yeah, or was it just not very good?
No, I think it's a parody of like horror.
No, it's not. So her being like this massive gargantuan beast that would never, it's not a parody. It's supposed to be just unseemly and somewhat scary to a bunch of teenagers who go and see this film. And it clearly was. Otherwise, why would the film have been so popular? But I just think people need to really get ready for really scary films back on the cinemas again, like The Pope's Exorcist.
That was an oddly watchable film. Okay, I'm not saying Barbarian was particularly good, but it was oddly watchable for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm joking, by the way, about The Pope's Exorcist. I think that looks
I'd like
pretty
to see
bad.
that.
But
I think that's going to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand why they made it, other than the fact that there's the reboot of The Exorcist coming out at the end of the year. So
it's going to be like when he did that film recently about driving around getting really angry at things.
it's more than just getting angry about things.
That was a pandemic film.
What does this say? What about a courtesy tap? Have you never heard of a
courtesy honk?
Tap? Something like that.
What was that film called?
Unhinged.
Yeah.
It literally was what it said.
Well, in this film, he's got an Italian accent.
It
I'm
was
the Pope.
It was
I'm the
strangely-
Pope's Exorcist.
It's one of the first films that came out during the sort of whole pandemic, and people were like flocking to see it. There was like a teenager in my cinema. They were looking at it before the film was about to come on, and I told someone, and they told him to they went, shut that fucking tablet off. So that's what happened. It was almost like the film happening in the auditorium.
Yeah.
That film was so violent, though.
And as Gary points out, Finchy is the voice of the demon in The Girl.
That's what's the most funny thing about it.
Hello there.
Like the guy who played in The Office, playing that kind of lech,
Sure.
sleazy guy. Then they're going to go, right, get him for the voice of the demon.
He was very good in The Witch.
Well, you down there, love. Saying,
Phantom Cooper, no, I wouldn't become a gun owner. Just because, like, I think that
I can imagine you walking around with a double-barrel shotgun through the countryside.
I think that my fists are sort of lethal enough. Then
There you go.
I don't need a firearm. Basically,
You don't need what they call a force multiplier.
I don't need a force multiplier. I don't need a cock extension.
Mm.
I think I'm okay without that.
It's obviously wishful thinking there, but
There's no wishful. I mean, I'll prove it to you in person if you want. We have met in person.
We'll see what happens if you feel the same way when a bunch of gay men, break your door in and want to have their way with you. You're going to wish you had that gun.
No, I'm going to enjoy it.
When
what
in
do you
Rome.
mean? When you say enjoy it, you mean you will enjoy the gay rape?
I think that's what the implication was, yeah.
Or you'll enjoy beating them senseless.
What's the difference?
Well, one thing, if you were gay raped, you might get the black man's,
Oh, boy.
12-inch erect penis.
Jesus Christ, man.
Inside your anus. I mean,
This is like when Mandela Man.
Well, because James called him a racist, and he had to prove
I'm not.
otherwise.
Yeah, he said I'm not a racist. I've sucked a black cock.
I sucked a black cock.
You were doing a good impression of him there, Josh.
Yeah, that's his voice. I think I am actually quite
not
good
a
at
racist.
Yeah. I am not a racist, man.
I've had 12 inches of black cock in my mouth.
I've sucked a black cock.
That's about the least racist thing you can do.
Voltaire going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is going over the line.
Panicking.
Speak No Evil. Thank you, Tim. Again, it's good to see you in here.
Speak No Evil was shit.
Oh, my goodness. It was Tim's favorite movie of the year.
No,
I'm not even familiar with this film.
You haven't even seen it, Josh. What are you
I
talking
have
about?
seen it. It's Dutch. Is it Dutch German? Something like that. It's crap. I totally disagree with Tim. I'm very upset in that opinion of Tim's.
Jesus.
That is the worst news I've had all year.
You don't have to get upset about it.
I am getting upset, all right?
He's angry.
I'm a very emotional person, especially, you've got to
I knew that, but
You've got to accept in this Twin Peaks fan community that people are
there's a lot
going
of
to
emotions.
emotions are going to be flying through the roof.
So is that a film about a horror film about a mute Dutch girl?
Whose phone's ringing?
That's mine.
Can someone turn their burner phone off, please? Is Ashton doing drug deals or something? Speak no evil.
It's no, it's about a family who go on holiday and meet another couple and befriend them, and then they go and meet them.
Have you seen it? It's only on Shudder.
He's just said he's seen it.
I fucking seen it.
Now
All right.
we've seen it. Get
How?
it?
I saw it on the internet. You dick.
What, illegally?
No, on Shudder or whatever it's called.
You complete twat.
Streaming site. All right.
God, everybody's streaming now and they think they're bloody brilliant, don't they?
Yeah. So just fucking pack it in.
It's probably an okay film. I can
It's
tell
not
just
okay.
from
It's not. None of it is. None of it is good.
So there's no mute characters in the film.
Yeah, there is. That's the. Well, I'm not even going to say. If you watch it, you watch it and come to.
Come
your
on
decision.
now, Voltaire. You don't have to ruin the whole plot.
I mean, it's called "Speak No Evil," which strongly implies there's a mute child in it or something.
With that, regards to that film, I just think that
Maybe.
I understood it. I get the point of it. I still hated it. I just thought it was crap. Like it was the contrivances that kept the family there were just too. It was like, oh, for God's sake! Like any normal person would say, well, this is fucking weird. Let's go.
So, are you familiar with it? Sounds like a film. Are you familiar with the film Funny Games?
Yes.
Now, that's a film like a family in trouble, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, just beat the shit out of the kid. Is it that kind of thing? But I love Funny Games, truthfully. I think that's a great
Are you
film.
talking about the original or the remake?
I've never seen the German version. I've just seen the Naomi Watts version with Tim Roth.
Well, they're basically the same. They are pretty much the same in terms of...
Yeah, I think I've heard it's a shot-for-shot remake.
But different
of course...
actors. I'm not... Yeah, definitely.
What is that, Josh?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
Mandela Man's journey is long and wide.
Indeed.
Beautiful.
I am not a racist, man.
I slept for 3 days.
I don't know how you can even say that, James. I've been on you here for how long now? 7 years. What? 7 years? I mean, 7 years, that's it. Man, you don't know how time works. I don't know if you've seen have you ever seen the TV show, the Stephen King adaptation?
Okay.
22/11/63.
Let me ask you this. Is it Febreze or is it Febreze?
That's very good, Josh.
Just like when we're in the middle of like talking about something interesting about films, and such, just bring that in. Imagine how I feel. I'm like, oh dear. I saw this quite good, like I think it's Norwegian.
Sod off.
At the end of last year, with children, and their children attack them. I can't remember what it's called though.
You just try to sound clever by saying you've seen a Norwegian film.
I agree.
Dickhead.
What Lottie die? He's into foreign films, is he?
No, it's nothing like that. I remember that Davern was not a massive fan of it, but I thought it was decent enough.
Did you go with Davern to watch, or did you guys do that thing like, I'll start the movie now, you start the movie now, and it'll be like we're at the movies together?
That's
No.
gay.
It's gay. It's called The Innocents. So yeah, there's an old film called The Innocents. That's why. But this is a different one. I was going to talk about something else and I forgot. Oh yeah, have you never seen that? The 22/11/63 with James Franco. It's about him. He goes back in time to prevent the JFK murder. Assassination. It's a TV show. It came out in 2016. And
where is Mandela Man, by the way?
Josh, he has days where he's up for 3 days at a time, and then he sleeps for like a day and a half. So he could be. This is very sexually aggressive on Josh's part here to take a full blown piss on your show.
It sounds more like him
You've
boiling a kettle or something.
Oh, is that what he's doing? He's making some tea for himself while I stand corrected. Golly. Yeah, you sure you haven't been drinking Carlings all night long? Golly. Ashton's had to leave.
Oh,
Good for you, James.
I don't know what the problem is right now.
She's not on. She's not on camera. That's all. I think I just heard her. Anyway, can you do Cameron as a impression after?
This is just going to turn into I do impressions of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, this is anything to. I mean, this is something that would get anybody else, a female, out.
Oh yeah.
No, not oh yeah.
A female.
You know that actor called Lee Ingleby? He's from Burnley in Lancashire. He looks like you quite a bit.
Sort of.
I've said it before. I'll bring a picture of him up.
Josh, you can see the reflection from the top there. Be careful, okay, with your dong and all that.
Yeah, I'm just washing my hands.
All right.
This is actually Josh on my screen now. Just show you. Oh. Yeah, Josh, can you just move it, please, a bit?
Move what?
Don't keep, presenting like that. You see this actor here? This is actually just like Josh.
I don't think so.
Oh, I know that guy. He was in Harry Potter, wasn't
he? Was he?
Yeah. He's actually from Lancashire, so.
Lancashire.
Well, what about him? Why have you brought him up? What's your?
Just looks like a lot like Josh.
That's the point of you bringing this actor up.
Yeah, when I want to think about Josh, I bring up this.
You watch one of his films, do you?
Oh, look at his pictures.
All right, well, that's great. Not creepy at all.
Thank you. I like to think of myself as not creepy. So if Ashton's not actually here for half an hour, why has she left a camera here for half an hour?
In the event that she
this
comes
just
back.
shows her StreamYard innocence, I think.
Mm.
Well, I will leave it there just as, a reminder.
Trying to think.
So you can think of,
else to mention.
Think of me and how much me and Cameron would, so how we would discuss things and stuff, and I'd say, well, Cameron, come on, it was both of us, really, wasn't it? Having a bit of a fight with each other, beating each other off, really. And
Cameron's hard to do an impression of because it's just basically, to me, it's just bog standard American accent. Like,
he has no accent.
Yeah,
he does.
You could try to get his affect and tone.
He is a definite.
It's.
I wouldn't want to try and do the.
If you did, you would sound almost insulting if you tried to.
Yeah, it would sound. It would sound too.
Well,
Yeah, like that.
Hey, well, I don't think.
I like the way he says, "What are you talking about?"
What are you talking about?
No, he's not like that. It's more like
what
sort
are you
of
talking about.
It's more relaxed than that. It's more like
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What are you talking? Yeah, it's enough to make me go, completely off the train.
It was always, James, what are you talking about? And then James would go.
That's me
James
after that, talking for 1 minute.
James used to do that face of just like looking off, like. looking off into the middle distance, like with his jaw out, like
yeah, getting really angry.
Just seething on the inside.
Well, it's.
I mean, I don't know what it is that when people ask you those sort of questions, I don't know what it is that you look at, because it looks like you look at the same thing in the room every time. Like there must be a picture up or something that none of us have seen. That when you get annoyed, you look at. Like you're looking at it now.
I'm looking at a religious icon. That's what I'm looking at. Trying to keep it together, you see. Not like you looking at all your cans of Carlin piled up.
Who else can I do an impression of?
Probably do more Mandela Man. That'd be good. Anyway, come on. You just keep interrupting me now, Mandela. So I don't mean to be.
I'm trying to think of some more Mandela effects.
Recently, when I said he was interrupting me, and I went off.
You interrupt people all the time, bro.
You've been interrupting me the whole show.
Or when he was eating on stream and James got mad at him for eating a taco, he goes, "You eat on here all the time, bro."
I shouldn't have even flipping responded to any of these things because they're so funny and of themselves, really. Looking back.
Well, he made a valid point in that case, truthfully.
Yeah, it's everything's goes both ways, doesn't it? Really. So.
Not me. Let's leave that for you and Mandela.
I don't mean like that. I don't mean sexually swinging. No. Jesus.
And Josh, we know he's not into that. He figured that out at a young age.
Figured that out for myself.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't sound like it from his escapades in these.
Oh, look at who's trying to use big words. Ooh.
Yeah, go completely wrong with it.
Escapade.
Yeah, it's a cafe escapade. You've been going in on all these escapades.
Do you remember? Sorry, but do you remember when Robbie Darren said that Twin Peaks Coffee Time was a new coffee shop opening in the city centre, in the high street? I mean, what the fuck was that all about?
No,
it was a man
he knew about
singing all show tunes in his one-bedroom apartment. I mean, what do you want from the guy?
Yeah, but remember in the Lancaster, there is the damn good coffee shop.
That's true. Yeah,
but that's supposed to be for like Amsterdam, because they sell CBD products, don't they, and all that. But have you ever been in there? I mean, they might do good coffee. Come on, you got to stop drinking all that Carlins, mate.
No, I haven't been in there.
All right. No, took a lot of thinking about, did it?
Mm.
Well, you should think about going in there and saying, "I'll do you like something of Amsterdam, a model of like the red light district with all naked women in windows."
Yeah,
shouting, "No filming" at tourists. Oi, get that camera away from me, flattened. Come on, then, do some more voices. What about Richard Taylor?
Or go ahead and do like a Christopher Walken type of thing.
No, I can't do Chris Walken. But Richard Taylor's got a difficult voice to do because he was older.
I don't keep pressing that one.
No, but he was like he had a very specific accent too, which is hard to do, I think.
He's from Maryland.
Yeah.
Maryland. Yeah, he was older, but he ran like 5 miles a day. He was quite fit. So
no, I don't mean he was. I'm not. Well, I mean,
but he did have like an older person's like. I know.
He had like a raspy sort of.
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
Sort of almost smokerish.
He'd given up smoking, believe me.
He ran 5 miles a day.
He was running up hills. That's what gave him all his energy for Twin Peaks.
What the fuck was he doing that for?
Well, maybe it was his health and he enjoyed it.
I prefer to just sit and drink.
Well, I think he did that when he was younger. I mean, he was a professional musician when he was younger, so he was probably out there doing all
Late.
kinds of things.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of something that
Vin
we-
is easy. Vin is very simple.
I'm
yeah, that's Vin.
No, these two Irish lads suggest I ask for some
It
hard
is,
sucking
yeah.
bonbons.
Yeah, Vin says some stuff like quite questionable stuff about.
Oh my word!
He'll say something like, it is Madge. She is a Jew lover." Something like that.
Yes.
Well, he said he wasn't going on, Facebook recently because of that reason. So
Yeah.
obviously that's the reason.
Right, he was worried about Jewish people stealing his data, right?
Yeah,
Spying
yeah.
on-
More like this stealing his cachet of underage male porn.
Mm.
Golly. I
No,
hope he's
no, that's-
okay.
No,
That
that's
was,
a joking matter, is it?
He would say those kinds of things, but that one where he was literally saying that you're worried about being spied upon, that's not a good sign. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're worried about being spied upon, then you're worried about there's something you're hiding on your computer or whatever. And, I mean,
Well,
I'm sure Vin hasn't got anything to be worried
I mean that's not a good excuse to say.
Well,
Well, why do
other
you
people-
care if you're being spied upon if you have nothing to hide? Nobody likes to be spied upon.
No, but I mean, I think he's probably more worried about something like monetary transactions,
No, we
realistic
don't know.
things like that.
It's not best not to speculate.
But I don't think him coming in with that kind of conversation is very helpful for people's views of Coffee Time, though, because like I tried sharing one of our videos not so long ago on Reddit, and somebody just said all your chat is just trolls and conspiracy theorists on the video, and they were an anti-Cameron person, and I tried asking them. I says, "What exactly is your problem?" and all this, but no answer.
So, James, let me ask you this: why do you think Hawk didn't go into the lodge when he saw it in the woods?
Oh, you mean where Andy did?
I don't think he gives a fuck. I think he wanted to do his Richard Taylor impression.
No, it's still a good question, though. That is actually something that Richard would have asked.
Yeah, that's what he used to do. He used to say he would never
specific
he would never ask the group. He would always actually single you out. I noticed.
Yeah, but that's because he knew that I was an expert.
Right, yeah.
And I did take it seriously, really. But I think he would have realistically and, understandably got tired of the xylophone, stuff like that. And also people like yourself burping nonstop. Or, mocking Richard as well.
I feel like Josh evolved with the burping more after Richard left. That was something.
Yes.
I don't think that's true at all.
His
No, the
comedy
burping came
evolved.
after Richard.
It
Yeah.
was there always. Josh was always like that.
Well, no, he was refining the very sophisticated comedy of belching. And
You've got to know when
timing
to do it.
correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just like people think, oh, he's just belching. No, there's a timing aspect to it, or else it's just
So
gross
basically,
and
you just didn't do it then.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And
Well,
I mean, it was funny when you got angry, but you got to a level of anger that made it not funny. You ruined it, actually. I mean, it's okay to not like it, but you got so angry. Oh, that's Goral. What is all this?
This is just disgusting.
No, but it's about like the.
You asked him, what did you eat? You asked him, like, what did you eat today? What?
Seriously, Josh, could you not just burp? Come on here, just burp. It's disgusting. It reminds me of when I was on the bus and there was somebody just burping in my face.
Oh, that really did happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
were bullied.
You were like being on a pig farm.
Yeah.
That's what you would say.
Yeah.
It's like being on a pig farm.
No, that's the sort of thing that my mum would say when she'd come into the room and it smelt or something when I was younger. It smells like a pig farm in here.
Oh dear, poor James.
It wasn't just me responsible for it. Maybe it was my brother and my sister. They created it.
Mm.
Or it could have been down to just me farting. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of like style or direction and then Voltaire comes in with the classic "Shut the fuck up, Ben, you piece of shit."
All right, let's not go down this.
That's one of the
let's not go down
best.
this road. Don't take us
Well-
up Queer Street, please. This is.
It's one of the best things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, well, Ben was just on like he enjoyed being a wind-up.
Yes.
He didn't
No,
seriously
he's
want-
also an angry drunk. Like there are people who are angry drunks. Like, I mean, those are the guys who are at the pub picking fights or whatever, looking for trouble every time. There's some people, they go out, they have a few drinks, they mellow, they have a good time. Some people get depressed and sad. Some people get fucking angry. He's that variety.
Yeah, he would enjoy if he caused some kind of fight or something to happen, but ideally didn't get involved.
I remember when
It's
Voltaire
the
got
same
so
with anyone. There's many people like that anyway.
Voltaire got so angry that he actually said, "I'm going to come fly to France and find you."
Buy a plane ticket to France.
To be like an American Comes to France version of Dead Man's Shoes.
Yeah.
Or of the guy from Sexy Beast, you know what I mean? I'm about to get out on a plane.
Probably, yeah. That hyped up.
Mm-hmm. That shows you Ben Kingsley really is a good actor. He looks like he weighs 115 pounds and he played like a mean fucker that was actually intimidating, you know?
He's very good, yeah.
But then they buried him at the bottom of the swimming pool. So
That's an underrated film for you Americans. I know it's more popular probably in the UK, but it's a very good film.
that's where the film jumped the shark for me at the end. Like, you're never going to bury somebody like that beneath your swimming pool because then you're going to be thinking about it the whole time.
He also seemed to be out in the middle of nowhere in Spain. Like it seemed like there was a lot of remote land around him, and yet he chooses to, bury him in his.
Well, I know that obviously was supposed to be somewhat of a ridiculous ending.
Yeah,
but
that is actually quite smart, really.
Good memory, Millie. Yes, that does sound like something I'd say.
Go back to 69 your dog, Ben. And then Ben said something like,
dog have to get roped into all of this. It's too
I know.
much,
And then Ben said like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Speak English.
Yeah, he was such a dick. I mean, it was comical, but I can imagine when it's directed at you, it's not funny, is it?
I think one of the best bits was when Ben came into a show late and Philip was talking, and Ben said something like, "Is that you, Bowie?" And then he just there was a dead silence, and Voltaire
I couldn't even understand what was happening at that point.
Voltaire just goes, "This is going to be good.
This is going to go well." And then Mark said, "Oh, it's Angry Ben," so he had him pegged.
Yes.
Yeah, but to say, "Is that you, Bowie?" to Philip, I mean, it just makes no sense.
I think it's because Philip's icon was the kettle from.
Oh right, yeah.
Well, then he did start mocking his accent. Because I'm not putting on a voice. This is how I talk.
I noticed it. It wasn't subtle, was it? Was it, mate?
It wasn't very subtle, mate, was it?
Fuck you, Ben, you stupid cunt.
Yeah, that was about the worst it got.
Do you not remember when Sean? Well, one of the times that almost got to that level, not actually quite that bad, actually, but was when Sean was under the impression that I was just laughing at him.
Oof.
Remember that?
He thought we were all mocking him. Yeah.
Were you laughing at?
Yeah, but you are laughing at him.
No, I was not.
No,
you were, and then you denied it.
Poor Sean has that. Like, I posted something on his Facebook about RoboCop, and he thought I was having a go at him. I'm like, no, I'm just talking about RoboCop with you.
This is the trouble with anything online. It can get interpreted. People just.
I remember though that he said something like, "He's laughing at me," and you said James said something like, "Who's laughing?" And Sean said, "He's laughing every time I talk. He's just laughing at me." And James was like, I don't think he is, but I mean, if he is, that's really not acceptable.
Yeah, I have to leave room for a question about it, So
every time I talk, he's just laughing at me. That's what he said.
That's a good accent. There you go. James couldn't do. I asked James to do a Liverpool accent recently. He couldn't do it.
Liverpool. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Yeah. You're laughing every time I'm talking. Yeah, but the reality is Josh was laughing at him.
I was not laughing at him.
He's doing the same with those.
Stop it. He's very sensitive to that, and if he happens to see this, he'll be very hurt.
I was not laughing at you. Sean sees this. I was not laughing.
Scallies, as you called them, you meant that were they Liverpoolians, right? You were laughing at them, and then one of them went to you. Who are you? Rightly so.
No, she didn't say who are you.
You're putting it large on them.
She said, "Who the fuck is that?" That's what she said.
Why would anyone say that to someone who they know that is a stranger? That's just bizarre. It's like,
well, that's why I didn't respond, because it was just so strange.
Why do you think she was doing it?
Shut up a sec.
Is that all of it, or just some of it? All of it, or just some of it? I don't know how much is left. Oh, is that much left? Oh, I'll wait then.
So how does it feel, Josh, that your girlfriend is much better spoken than you? I mean, she sounds like a member of the landed gentry.
What have you spoken to her?
I could just hear her just then.
That was Ashton.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought your girlfriend had like an American accent.
Did you?
Are you now able to talk, Ashton?
Yes.
You've got your mic on, Ashton, but you're not talking. Okay.
Oh boy. And she's eating, James. Oh my God, you're gonna lose your fucking shit.
Don't start saying this kind of thing.
Oh my God.
I'm a lot more, loose than I used to be.
Ashton, if you could just do a burp, that would be brilliant.
Don't be silly.
It's not very ladylike.
I just wanted to mention, since these two don't know anything of it, have you heard that series called 11/22/63, Ashton? It's got James Franco in it. It's about, he goes back in time. It's a Stephen King film, TV show, really.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's about stopping JFK, isn't it?
Yeah, I told you that earlier.
Is that the film that's about stopping JFK?
Here, look at my screen.
Yeah.
It's a bad title.
That one. 11/22/63.
All right, how is it? That sounds like an interesting concept.
It's excellent. I've watched it once before, back in probably 2016 or 17. Before.
Oh, it's old.
Relatively speaking, but it really stands up. I recommend it.
All right, it's on Hulu in the U.S. for those of you in the United States.
How much was in there?
You should check it out. Anyway, that's that. So it basically
who is that in the corner of your room, James?
What do you mean?
Who's who's in your room, James?
There's no one. There's a cupboard with a load of CDs all like nearly falling off it. That's about it. It's the trouble with physical media for you.
There you go.
James, do you like pot noodle?
Oh my God, not this. Why am I on the full screen?
Sounds like a legitimate question.
No, I just realised that I'm only on the full screen. I don't
know what pot noodle is. Can you explain that to people in America?
I don't mind it, sure, but it's not my preferred type of thing.
Oh, that's ramen. Yeah, it's just ramen, or cup of noodle as we call it here.
Well, yeah, basic noodle.
There's a lot of sodium in that fucking shit.
You can get a Bombay Big Boy one here.
A Bombay Big Boy, what? Like an Indian big fella?
That's what it's supposed to be Indian, I suppose.
That doesn't sound very appetizing.
I don't know what kind of
one. I think that's the name of the service that James rings.
Yeah.
No, there's one actually called the Bombay Big Boy. What is yours there? It looks like it's chicken or something.
No, it's curry.
Ashton just said she came back from a half-hour piss.
That beats my record, yeah.
Pop noodle is cheap and goes straight through you, according to Gary.
Gary watches what he eats, though.
But I'm not really sure about it going straight through you. I think it's quite clog you up because I'm a record holder for eating. I ate about 20 of them consecutively.
Oh yeah, how was the sodium? How did that treat you? All that sodium in one sitting.
Well, I went into a kind of coma over that. So.
I would imagine.
So, I bet Josh couldn't really eat 20 of them in one row like that. That's for the real boys, the real men, should I say?
Well, you'd have a hard time eating 20 of those. I mean, they are noodles, and it's at some point that's going to take its toll on you.
Not me. I like it.
For most people, yeah, but not for me. I like
if
it.
You're only having one, and you've not even told us what kind of one you're having.
He said it was a curry. What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Pay attention. You asked him, he answered, and you didn't even listen to the answer.
How many times do I have to say this, James? This is your show, and you're not paying attention to your guests. And what the fuck's that all about?
Yeah, what are you looking off at?
Well, now I'm looking at. I mean, for instance, with James Franco, he's the main star of this TV show, and
You're
then,
watching it while we're on the air here.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at the screen because there's other things. You know, it comes up with recommended things if you look at one item by other actors or something. I mean, another good thing he did was 127 Hours, wasn't it? That's a good film where he gets trapped in the desert.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how much impact his sort of issues with him being basically a lech or whatever.
Allegedly, let's be fair.
I think it's pretty obvious that it's true.
I think it is obvious. Yeah, there's text message.
The reality is, though, when you think about it, and being in acting and the amount.
What was he accused of? I can't remember exactly. Was it just that the girl was 17, but he was in an area where 17 is legal?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about the specifics of that, for instance. But it's being coercive and just using his power and stuff. But I reckon within the entirety of the acting scene and everything, this kind of stuff is just absolutely considered pretty much normal. Not so much now, but it was in the say if you went back 10 years, to some extent. I mean, because his thrill must have been, in a way, just being able to showcase his power. It's similar to a guy like yourself, Walter, for instance.
Showcase my power.
When you walk in a room, people sit up and they go,
Look, he was a guy. He was famous. Some girls were contacting him on Instagram, and he wanted to bang him. Oh my God, what a monster!
Isn't that a song by the Drifters? Every time you walk in the room.
I don't know about that. Anyway, I will say he's a good actor. I do think he's good.
Is he? I mean, I've neutral on him.
I do think so.
I don't think I really have no specific.
I don't know why you have stopped, trying to go against me.
I'm not trying to go against you. I'm just trying to think, was there anything where he particularly impressed me? And
you always have to undermine me a bit.
I mean, they're making a big deal. He's going to play Fidel Castro.
For some reason, Ashton's now eating a banana. I don't know what that's all about.
Well, don't be suggestive. The woman's she's just having some fruit. Looks like an apple, too.
It's the sort of thing that...
Oh, good for you! And
okay.
Good, James, you're getting it.
All right, well, forget it. Anyway, Phantom Cooper's got an interesting story from a 19-year-old. My uncle had a kidney stone, and it took him over 2 hours to piss it out. Thank you.
Oh, Christ. What a nightmare.
I don't even know that would happen. I've never even imagined such a thing.
No, I hope you never have to experience it for your sake.
So you were never really into the juice so much?
I watched a few episodes of that. I just didn't... I don't know why I didn't find it very interesting.
It's actually
Did you like that?
Seasons. No, I only watched the first season. And
did you watch the whole first season?
I think so. But
I don't think you did.
I thought it was okay, but it's just...
I think if I remember rightly, Voltaire, it's because you said something like that Maggie Gyllenhaal is fucking disgusting. Is what you said.
I don't find her disgusting. No, I wouldn't say that. She's okay. She's just okay. She looked good in that Nolan film.
Yeah, but I think the point of that everything was it's supposed to add a certain realness. It's not supposed to be about everyone just looking like Margot Robbie or something, is it? It's.
Me and my girlfriend were talking about this today, about how she finds it strange that I don't find Margot Robbie attractive.
Well, does she get quite angry about that?
Yeah, because she does.
She finds her attractive.
Yeah.
Right, she's objectively attractive, Josh. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's what I said. I said, yeah, objectively, she's absolutely attractive.
She's got a good smile, hasn't she?
Her face is too perfect. It's too like. It's too.
Well, that's not why. That doesn't why you don't find her attractive though, because her face is too perfect.
You just find her to be generic, beautiful, and just like a parody of what a Hollywood actress. Like I always said, like Pamela Anderson was like a parody of what a woman looks like, but she was like on the extreme end of it, like the trashiness and all that. But Margot Robbie's almost just like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't care for her.
I think he's just being a bit of a dick.
So, do you know that Quentin Tarantino has announced that his last film he's working on it?
Oh, he said called last film.
Well, he said he's been saying that for a while. He's going to make 10 films. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, the thing is, he
doesn't want to. He doesn't want to make an Inland Empire. Put it that way.
But he should do. I don't see any problem making Inland Empire. But the thing is, like, he should just go into doing making TV shows after that. So, because that's
I think that is what he's going to do.
And TV shows, actually, the quality of most TV shows are easily superior to the average film that comes out now. I've got to say.
Well, I will say, like Lynch said when he was doing season 3, like that's where it's at on these streaming services. Certainly not network TV, where you can do what you want and that kind of thing. Just like The Mandalorian, they you can make episodes different lengths and things like that. Like the last episode of The Mandalorian is significantly longer than the typical episodes that they do, and that's sort of, I think that's an advantage to creators if they're making serial TV. And again, as I've said to people before, if you watch the Tarantino film on Netflix, the director's cut split up into 4 episodes of what's the cowboy one called again? Hateful Eight on Netflix. The way they did the director's cut split into 4 episodes. It's a much more. It was already a good film in my opinion, but it's much more enjoyable in that format. So, yeah.
Samara Weaving. What does she look like? Voltaire, can you bring up a picture of Samara Weaving?
I can, and I will. Samara Weaving. Nude. That's what I'm searching.
Okay.
Don't put nude.
Okay.
That's just being cheeky.
She looks just like Margot Robbie, Gary.
Let's have a look.
Put the screen up, James. For fuck's sake.
I was looking for pictures of her.
Sort your shit out.
She looks just like Margot Robbie. It's the same type of woman.
Can I actually get like a picture of her, please?
Her face is a bit more angular or something.
Can you get a picture up of her, please?
But she's got that same generic look.
Oh, she's from Ready or Not. She's Australian too, isn't she?
This is not a good smile.
Yeah, not really. I do find her more attractive than Margot Robbie, though, I will say.
I find that Anya Taylor much more attractive than both of them.
I don't find Anya Taylor-Joy attractive.
Jesus Christ.
Anya Taylor-Wood, for God's sake.
And I also find the
name right.
Everybody's going crazy for the Wednesday girl. She's more attractive as well.
That Jenna Ortega, she's like 16 or something.
No, she's not. She's older than that. She's like
20.
Well, I don't find her attractive either.
Well, because you don't like Latinas, that's why.
That's right.
You like white women.
You've got to stick to your own.
They all get too skinny.
That's right. That's right, James. That's what turns me off as well. Is this? They look very skinny.
I've seen pictures of Jenna Ortega when she was probably about 18 or something. She looks okay weight wise,
Now she's got skeletal. You can see her ribs and everything. Seeing a woman's ribs is not.
Why is she now? Why is she Anya Taylor-Wood now?
That's just my name I gave her because it was
Shit.
probably about the idea that she lived in a wood in The Witch.
You really think she's just skinny? Huh.
I saw her actually. She was on SNL and she did The Exorcist. She did a skit of that. That was quite funny, really. What are you laughing at, Josh?
Nothing.
Look her up. Jenna Ortega, The Exorcist. It'll come up. Her acting as the possessed girl is quite good.
No.
You should get her in the Pope's Exorcist 2 or something. She's genuinely.
This is a highly anticipated film for you, The Pope's Exorcist. You keep mocking it, but look. What? This is what gets you going, James? Seeing possessed girls?
Well, yeah, she's pretty good when she's possessed. I'll tell you, it really got me going. To be honest, yeah.
There was one person I can
Put
think
the video
of,
clip of it.
very skinny, that I
And,
do find
you'll get
Well, if
taken
it's
down.
an SNL, then it's good.
SNL is really strict, but yeah.
Oh well, anyway, it's just her waggling her tongue, but they didn't do too much of the tongue waggling because it's probably decided a bit too much. So.
That's what you like, James?
What?
This?
Was that when she's possessed?
I don't know why that picture is.
I do like it, yeah. It's quite nice.
Anya Taylor-Joy is really just terrific.
I think she was an asset to SNL, for sure. I think the trouble with someone like her, Jenna Ortega, even though she is very good, she's clearly good as Wednesday and all this. I don't really know how good she is as an actress, beyond these kind of things like Scream 6.
No. Right.
Like, will she ever be taken that seriously as an actress? I mean, it's a shame if she's not, but then again,
Whereas Anya Taylor-Joy, we've seen her do good performances. Let's be fair. This is the first movie she came on my radar, and The Split, she was very good in that.
I think what Voltaire likes about Anya Taylor-Wood is that she just kind of has this class about her.
Mm.
And that's because she's English. So a lot of American actresses just don't have that.
That what was that film she did where she went back in time, or she was the girl was going back in time? The one with
the Benders.
You know the one. No, not the Benders. You know the one where the girl was going back in time and Anya Taylor-Joy was like this lounge singer, and the girl was a student in England and she was knighted to something or other.
I feel like my mind's going into some kind of bend.
You know the film I'm talking about now, though, right? Where
Anya Taylor-Joy was in a film about time travel.
Correct, but she wasn't time traveling. A girl would.
Oh, you mean One Night in Soho? Yes.
That's it. Right, and she eats Greg's. So there you go.
It was more like a haunting thing. It wasn't. I don't know about time travel.
Well, the whatever the girl would.
That's quite an interesting way of thinking about it. And I did think the reason I brought up that 11/22/63 is the guy who plays the Polish accountant in Twin Peaks who ends up shooting everyone in that street scene. He's in it quite a bit, showing as a member of the CIA.
Jesus, you recognized him?
He's very recognizable, and you bet. I looked him up and I thought, well, he can't be the same guy. And I'm thinking, Mark Frost for sure must have loved this. I mean, it involves time travel, changing, what's going to happen. The same thing, Cooper tries to do.
They did an episode of Quantum Leap about that.
Well, yeah, I know, but just that the fact they've got the same actor, it seems a bit of a coincidence. But I don't know. I'll have talked to Mandela Man about that. It was probably it must have been something. No, I will have to talk to him. It's probably a massive conspiracy. So.
I would imagine. All right.
No, I think the reason he got cast was probably just because he was a good actor. So.
I don't think he got cast because of his small, limited role in The Return, for God's sake.
No, he just looked right for the role. He could pass as looking from like Poland or something. So especially with the shaven head and everything. In the 63 program, he's got like probably a wig on or something. So. Yeah, and Annie Taylor-Wood, she does eat at Greg's. That's a known fact.
I've seen the videos.
When she's not actually, when she's in America, she gets a lot of Greg stuff shipped out to her.
You know, that video with her and Skarsgård eating it was very angering. The way she was fawning over Skarsgård, which I guess I can't blame her. The guy's very handsome.
Yeah, but the thing that I find bothersome about those kind of videos where it's like, let's eat sweets or whatever from other foreign countries is just the way they feign like wonderment about everything.
Yeah, it was very cringe, as they say.
It's the sort of thing that Josh would do, I can imagine. Yeah, very irritating. But he's just disappeared without saying that he was going.
That's his signature move. It's appropriate for his return for him to leave how he used to leave.
I thought it changed for the better by now, but still. One can only hope, I guess. Are there any last topics you wanted to touch on?
No, I mean, not that it's particularly interesting, but I find it interesting in that, DC movies has had a hard time lately. And they released that Shazam film. It cost them $125 million to make, and it looks like it's going to make about $30 million this weekend, which is a very bad start for them. So that movie's going to lose money from the looks of things. I find that kind of interesting, personally.
Yeah, is that basically Shazam 2?
Yeah, which I have no interest in watching. The first one was not good.
And the first one was not even that popular, was it?
Right. Well, it was critically acclaimed, but it didn't do well. You're right. Or not critical fans. Some fans seem to like it. But DC has had a hell of a time. Like, as they famously, they spent $12 million making a Batgirl movie, which they will not release, which is fascinating. You know?
Well, it
had Michael Keaton in it.
Must have been all contractually, agreed, and they just had to go ahead with the film. And clearly, they thought it would do better than it did. But interesting. Mm-hmm. Ashton is actually asking in the chat, what do you like to know, or would you like to know about in Twin Peaks that were left unanswered? Well, for me, for a start at least, I would definitely want to go down, a related path to the ending of The Return, where it's this whole thing of Cooper wanting to change history and prevent Laura having been killed, etc. Something related to all that. Explaining a bit more his sort of why he felt like that and his where his heart lay and everything. Because even though it seemed believable enough, I feel like there could be a little bit more expressed about it. And then, I think it's so. But yeah, I think at the same time, I think they could go deeper into the idea of just sort of what the evil that men do is and why and all of that kind of thing behind the scenes of sort of. I mean, we basically know about Leyland and why he did what he did and everything, but maybe at least sort of look into that a little more deeply somehow. But then in contrast to that as well, it would be good to see something a bit more, a depiction of sort of a rosier side of the town in comparison to that what that we saw in The Return, where everything basically seemed to be dismal and in trouble, gone downhill basically since the 1990 incarnation and everything. Somehow, like as if things were coming back to life somehow, I don't think the show has to be mired in just being about things that we can't even understand at all, really. Like, like Leyland saying, find Laura. Like, why? Why do you want anybody to find Laura? This is other than just giving the explanations of like, okay, this is something that's explained here if you read this from the book. But it doesn't, how does that explain anything, really? That's just fantasy talk in a way. The idea of time travel, or this is the Leyland who shot himself, okay. That doesn't explain anything. So if that's the Leyland that shot himself, why would he be thinking find Laura? Because she went missing in that reality. But it's just too incomprehensible to me. I think it'd be nice to have like just a whole new reality of the show, which would kind of just come and almost just wipe that all out, even. I don't know. I just feel, I get a feeling like a lot of the things to do with the return and everything about it is it has this sense of artificiality about it whole. And like say you're very depressed, or you really are haunted by something, or something sinister has had an effect on you. It kind of can eat you up inside, and that's the kind of effect we had in just shown and displayed to us in the return. And then typified in that, the vision of the experiment kind of that eats their heads and everything. And just to give it an example of like depression and all that kind of thing, it's like if somebody's in a very depressive state and all that kind of thing, they start thinking that people are saying things about them, or other people have bad opinions about them, all this kind of thing. I feel like a lot of that is just sort of part of the whole thing in the return, part of the depiction, because it's so exaggerated. Like Diane saying, fuck you, Tammy, that kind of thing. It's like, what kind of reality is this? This is like the total polar opposite of the reality that we saw in the original show. So where it had this just inbuilt charm to everything, and nobody would greet each other with just F you. So I do think for a lot of people, me included, that the return has a sort of this dark feeling about it. So I'd like to see that sort of answered in a sense with something else, like some kind of contrast to that whole thing. Basically, just like a 2-hour feature where it would be Agent Cooper just driving around Twin Peaks playing really happy music. Yeah, something like that.
It's a bit much. I wanted to. Yeah. I can't find that post with the guy with the glove who made the.
Oh right, well,
it's a little late for it now, but we got to find that.
It's just his basic point is that the things that are there in the original show or in Fire Walk with Me can become part of the sort of dream content, really, of the return. As in, Laura's got a vase which looks like a green hand, doesn't it? So
yeah, the thing that blows me away about that is the cynical side of me says that he doesn't pay attention to that kind of stuff he did in the other stuff to that degree. But that's pretty clearly connected, I would think. But maybe that's Frost, right? But then Frost wouldn't take something from Fire Walk with Me. You wouldn't think, because he was fucked off of that movie. So it's quite interesting.
I think in terms of the set dressing of Fire Walk with Me, you wouldn't have seen that side of the room before anyway in the series, where it was only shown in the pilot. So I don't think that would have been showing there. Someone would have to go back and look. But I think that Lynch would have definitely paid attention to the set dressing and the design of that room for sure, because it looks different in Fire Walk with Me to how it did in the pilot anyway, because there's like that alcove in the corner where there's the wardrobe and where Bob gets behind, That wasn't there in the original room. because it was made as a set for Firewall with Me. Just the fact that it was made as a set implies that Lynch especially would have been paying attention to all of the different set details as well.
It would seem
it being right next to a phone, yeah. And like, I mean, obviously he was paying attention to things like the angel painting, and so everything would have. They said on the return he paid attention to everything. So to what people wore, to what, every little thing.
Yeah, I heard that interview.
So I think, but apparently the idea of the green glove was Lynch was going to do that with something involving Jack Nance. I mean, he would be a guy who's got this green glove, and maybe it gave him special powers. And you can imagine that would have been really ridiculous, probably. But no more ridiculous than the Freddy stuff. So, but if that's connected to Laura in that sense, as the dreamer in part, it just makes sense that it could be attached to a character who was obviously close to her as well, in James. So I can't remember all the other things about the post, but
no, me neither. That's why I was looking for it. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
No, I do think that a lot of things, obviously, that are spotted throughout Twin Peaks and then in The Return, etc., are related to each other. I mean, there's quite a lot of attention to detail, even in small things like, there's the vortex effects, and we first see it above that like trailer park storage area, and I think the vortex in the middle of it has got either a white or a black dot. In the other instance, when we see the vortex in the woods, in the center of it, it's got the alternate. It's got a white dot in it. So that's not just like, the people working on it, the special effects, like Lynch, just do whatever you want, He's probably told them, have one of them had a white dot in the middle and one of them's got a black dot in the middle. Especially when every episode started with that Rancho Rosa, logo that was different for every episode. And I mean, yeah, we know that there were people who kind of you could run 17 and 18 over each other, that kind of thing, that kind of thing, you know what I mean?
I do.
But that was a little bit ridiculous, obviously. I don't think Lynch said that was not true, for instance. So The Return is like a trip to TK Maxx. Things are just off, says Gary North. Yeah, definitely. So, do you have any last thoughts? Or
I don't. I think we've said it all today.
Okay, all right then. Well, thank you to you, Voltaire. Thank you to Josh, who's gone without saying anything rudely. Thank you to Ashton, who's still here, believe it or not. And hopefully we'll see you again. But for the meantime, see you all soon. And I look forward to seeing you. See you in the trees. And bye for now.
Everybody have a good week.
Thank you.